Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Voxson Oval. This is round 17 of NEAFL TV and the clash between the Aspley Hornets and the Sydney University. I want to call them the students, and I think we should. Mark Kennedy's my name, and I'm the one stumbling over the words. But this man here, Riley Staraj, he doesn't stumble over too much. And Riley, it should be a wonderful game today. It's 4th versus 7th. Of course, Aspley have just been on a very good run. And Sydney University, they are teetering as far as their finals hopes are concerned.
Pleasure to be with you, Kanga. As always, it is going to be a fantastic game this afternoon. Over the last 6 weeks, the Aspley Hornets have probably been the hottest side in the competition, not named the Brisbane Lions. An average winning margin of 54 points over that run. And they have won 6 in a row, so they are looking sensational. Whilst for the students, it's almost D-Day for them, really. Lose this afternoon, and their finals hopes go into serious jeopardy with a very tough run home.
Yeah, well, there's a lot to play for this afternoon. And, of course, these two sides 6 weeks ago met here, and we thought it, and I called this game with the encyclopedia of everything NEAFL, Bob Batty, and we thought it was going to be a close game, and it was a blowout. Aspley were very impressive and really getting moving on that run. And of course, Sydney University lost Austin Lucy this week with a shoulder injury in AC, 4 to 6 weeks. I had the benefit of seeing Sydney Uni at the airport last night, and they're optimistic. And what the message was to me was they're going to take a different game plan into this game today to try and really upset the, what is the steadiness of Aspley as it stands.
Yeah, certainly, of course. You look at the last time these two sides met, there was an inside 50 difference of 30 last time these two sides met. If you let in 68 inside 50s as a club, it's very rare you will win any game of football, so they do have to do something different this afternoon. Of course, they did only have the one change this week for the students. Last time out, they beat the Gold Coast Suns by 50 points. As you mentioned, Austin Lucy out of the side this afternoon, and coming in is Sam Barkley, whilst the late change for the Hornets, Callum Castledine, he has not got up this afternoon, so he's come out of the lineup, and Cody Stackelberg has been the late inclusion. But I reckon it's going to be a very, very tight contest. 2 blowouts this year between these two, but I reckon we're going to be third time lucky.
Well, it is one each way, both on home decks. What's your tip by how many again?
I think I'm going to go Aspley by about 3 goals. They are in red-hot form, and they are setting themselves up very nicely. They look like they are firing on all cylinders so far in the last 6 weeks.
Well, I'm going to go Aspley by 5 goals, 30 points. I think they are just on fire. This is the voice of Riley Staraj to get us underway on NEAFL TV.
So in the middle, opening bounce. Rucks go out to give the honours to Spencer that time, but it was tapped straight to a student. High kick up, not 15 play on it, just going to raffle. Ives couldn't get there. Payne gets there first for the Hornets and feeds a kick forward. So the first attacking foray will be for the Hornets, but unfortunately for them, Timmy Barton's taken the mark at half back, and he'll go short with a kick, and he'll find Kilpatrick. So you think this afternoon ball control is going to be important for the students. As soon as I say that, well, they've turned it over, but it went straight through the legs of Arnold. The big man, Tagliabue, all 206 centimetres of him, is tackled straight away, and we're going to have a stoppage in the middle of the ground, and we'll start it all again.
Well, of course, last time these two sides met, it was actually pretty even early, and then Aspley really took over later in the game. Warm conditions here. Coming out there on that occasion was Vella. You notice him with the headgear. Quick handball in front of himself was Stern, and the students are just going to try and sneak away here with the kick. That was Carroll, and it goes right to the line. It was touched, though. It might have been Harry Morrison, in fact. He's a lively half-forward. Good form, of course, nominated for the NEAFL Rising Star Award. So the first blood, albeit a point, way of the students.
So Allen will bring the kick in for the Hornets towards half-back. Big contest here between Spencer and Tagliabue. Spencer did well to tap it down to his teammate there in Bulch. Kicks it towards half-forward. Spoiled off the hands of Stackelberg. Actually, that's a fantastic mark from Carroll. He was very intelligent in the end because he punched it to his advantage and took a strong mark, and it's a good kick in the middle too. Sydney University, I know it's early, but are looking quite industrious. The kick inside 50 from Barton is a good one off hands. No mark taken. The Hornets will do well just to get out of here. Payne, rare fumble, but he recovered it, but then handballed it straight into a student. Tagliabue! Well, that's a ripping tackle, and that has set up the kick inside 50 from Vella. And Sydney University, they look like they really want to get things quite physical early, and they're going to have a shot on goal here from about 30 metres out, and it's going to be taken by Stern.
Well, they were pretty happy with the tackle, weren't they, the students, and the turnover, and just to try and interrupt the party, It was big Spencer that came in just to try and assert himself and say, don't be treating young Craven that way.
So Josh Stern, 23 goals so far in season 2019, will come in 30 metres out. They need a good start, the students, and he'll send it, and it is, quite frankly, a very poor kick. He kept it low, the one behind. So, like the last time these two sides met, students have the first couple of shots on goal, but only minors. And it's good to mention this afternoon conditions are almost perfect, but very slight wind, but a little bit warmer.
Not too dissimilar again from the last time they met. Big Spencer just stands there. It's a big bulk. Gets it off to Ives. Been in fantastic form. And just as you wrap him up, his kick wasn't a good one. Right there. Underneath it all is Kilpatrick. Stacks on the mill. And right in front of us here on the NEAFL commentary position. Of course, NEAFL TV. Round 17 action. Thanks to our broadcast partner, Bar TV. We're at Voxson Oval. Well done there by the big fella in Spencer. Barton gets it going forward. In fact, it was Stevenson. Half forward it is. Arms and legs fly. Plenty of players around the contest, one of which is Foster. He's right underneath there, and the ball tied up under plenty. And the students were very promising, and what I can see already early is they're going to try and move the ball as quickly as possible because Aspley, they like to control it from the back half and be very clinical before they really unleash as Payne just wrapped up. Got a big cheerio on behalf of Matty Payne, one of his family members. And it's not his mother this time. She did message me about a week ago, though, just to try and give this cheerio. A very good tackle there from Templeton. He's been a fantastic find down from Noosa last year. The ball tied up very close to the boundary line.
So some stoppages early here, but the students, they certainly look quite intent to bring their A game this afternoon. The bye might have come at a good time for them. Socket out of the pack eventually there forward, but first there will be Hayden. Sends a snapping sort of a ball forward. It's a good one as well. It was fortuitous enough. Turning around is Giles on the wing position. Sends it towards half forward. The gloved hand in Nellis. Picks it up off the ground. Tries to get half a kick. Freeman. Well, he's got Hampton. He's on the boundary. He's got to spin out a one. Hand pass back. Well done from the students to stop it. That's a good kick to Bartholomeus.
It was well done there by I think it was Bartholomeus who the kick, but inside forward 50. That's no good. Stackelberg just grabbed it right on the line. Had a quick snap. I do apologise there, Riley. I took sway because it was Sirakoski in the back half and he just pulled that kick at the last minute and just did it nicely. But Aspley's first score, the one behind.
So Golden to bring it back into play. He'll go short with a pass. It's a good one as well. And he'll find Veal. We'll look across the ground. Go back to the last line of defence. Looks like at least defensively here. Early, the students are content to just control it. Reinhardt finds Stewart. And he'll hand pass out now. They look to move it on a little bit quicker. Down towards the wing position. Contest coming up. Goes over the back. The students have got the run on here. If they can get it. Stockard to the four-wheel. Spencer's got to go up against two. Couldn't quite get it. Now the kick inside 50. Giles has got to do a job here. He couldn't quite get it. Montgomery, Crockmale couldn't get it away. Gross. Hand passes it wide. Now to find Lawrence. Lawrence will send it towards half-back, and that's a good kick, and the Hornets can go through Ives.
Ives to Payne. They've been teaming up very well in season 2019. Free man there is Nellis. Gathers it at true centre forward. Finds Hampton. Right on forward 50. They've got numbers on the run. They find the free man in Stackelberg. This is Connor Stackelberg. And it was a good build-up from half-back, but a poor turnover as Tagliabue had them on toast, but the kick just could not get to him on the full.
Yeah, it certainly didn't. But one thing we've already noticed early, we did mention about the ball control of Aspley, but as soon as they got on half-back and got a little bit of space, their ball movement there was electric, and the students are going to have to look to stop that today.
So Connor Stackelberg, 45-degree angle. We've got a good look at this on NEAFL TV. Comes in, very deliberate shot, and just guides it home. The first one goes the way of the home side, the Hornets. 1-1-7, two behind. We've played 6.5 minutes of this first quarter.
Good work there from Connor Stackelberg. He's really grown into the year. For Aspley, like a lot of their team, as we've mentioned many times throughout the season, so many transition and changes both in coaching staff and players, but they're in red-hot form, and Connor Stackelberg is one of those reasons why he provides a really good foil for the likes of Nellis and Freeman. He's just a little bit of a different sort of an option. and it can give some defences real headaches.
Yeah, he just hits up very well at the football. And, of course, notice Jack Stanley playing up forward today, as well as they'll rotate those four boys through there and get plenty of run, dash, and, again, a little bit of that marking power to go with it.
So back in the middle, first goal going the way of the Hornets. Tap down, Spencer couldn't pick it up. Eventually torpedoed forward there from Vella towards the forward 50. Looks like Davies might have been just pushed out. No free kick play on. They're under siege here at the moment. Aspley, when it goes in, they've had to tie this up, but they've done it well. And so often with Aspley, one of their best qualities defensively is they always make it into a contest. Every side they play has to earn every goal they get.
So ball up just right on the forward 50. Spencer just knocks it, looking for the enigmatic Payne, but coming away on that occasion is Bartholomeus, right to the top of the square. That's a good kick. Davies just about had it. No, said the umpire. It was a good spoil. Just working the ball around. Foster goes around the corner, right to the goal line. Did it get there? It did. They weren't sure, but as soon as the umpire put his hands back down, ready to fire both guns, the students got around him. And Nick Foster answers in the best possible way. Puts them back in front by a point. 1-2-8 playing 1-1-7.
Yeah, that was a fantastic snapper goal there from Foster. And just what the students needed. They really, for the first few minutes of this game, dominated the territory. A lot of the game was played in their forward half, but didn't quite get the reward they wanted. But good to get the quick reply. They hit the front. And they're going to really look to stay in touch throughout this one and not let Aspley get out to too much of a margin.
So I like the way Davies moves. I think he's a very dangerous forward. If they can find enough space for him, he's going to prove a handful for their defence, Aspley. A couple of times in that last game, he really looked like he might have taken a hole, but just was starved of opportunities in the finish. As we get underway again, this is Cody Stackelberg, runs onto it, and the number 5, Templeton, almost slipped over, but gave it back to Stackelberg. They go out wide, and they'll just take it down the wing, and to half back, or half forward, if you like. It's just marked by Goulden, or it was out of bounds on the full even.
Goulden short. This is good from the students. They've had a really good start. Sirakowski will send it towards half forward. Lawrence gets the spoil towards the pack. It's still kept in the field of play now. Ruffled around. Banwales is around there if he can get it, but he couldn't quite get it away. Vella couldn't get the tackle on. It's raffled between hands. Murphy's thereabouts now. It will eventually be clear. Now it goes to Murphy, but he's run down straight away. Has to give it quickly to Spencer. Aspley have worked this out okay. The kick from Cody Stackelberg towards half forward. Goes to Stanley. He's run into trouble. And that was Barclay. It was a fantastic tackle. Good start here for the students. This is just what they wanted early.
Yeah, they need to keep the pressure up. Oh, that's not good from Hiscox. He just thought he heard a voice from somewhere else, and it wasn't his teammate. He butters up with the tackle. It's on Martin. Very talented young man is Will Martin, coming into this Aspley lineup last few weeks. Lions Academy. And I know he's a bit of a prospect. He's highly thought as potential draft-type material into the season. Spencer tried to take it out of the ruck, couldn't do so. Stevenson just got it down. Morrison, or in fact it's Crockmell, couldn't do it. Just Dawson with a little one. Just thrown down there was Vella. Plenty of players in there, and the umpire surely will come in and ball it up. And Sydney University at this point in time, warm day, so we'll see how they adjust, but they're providing the pressure required at this point.
They certainly are. And that's very important against the sideline Aspley. Winning the tap down, Spencer. Hand part away from Cody Stackelberg. Giles goes inside to Hampton. Breaks one tackle. Gets past the big man in Tagliabue. Back to Spencer. Now it will eventually be sent forward, or actually straight away turned over from Jackson Allen. Now the kick forward here for the students. And that's a good spoil out of bounds there from Doug Lawrence, who I think has really grown into the year. Doug Lawrence, you've seen him at times at the QAFL level for the Western Magpies, but he's starting to really prove a key component of this Hornets defence.
Well, he was in and out of the side there for about 12 months and started to really adjust to what was required. He had plenty of games. Tagliabue took it out of the ruck, just inside forward 50. Didn't get a lot of purchase on it, though, and plenty of players around this. And the umpire will call it in. Very talented cricketer as well, Doug Lawrence. Had a fair bit of go about him on that instance, or in that chosen field, but he's chosen AFL instead. Martin, he was just taken down without the ball, but Stevenson, he'll bring it round. Left foot, just can't hook it back far enough out of bounds on the full. No harm, no foul. As far as the Aspley defence is concerned, and Gavin Gross can come away with the ball with that prodigious left foot of his.
So Gross, with that prodigious foot, sends it about 60 metres towards a contest. That's a fantastic mark taken from Carroll. Calls a 50 not on it. I think that's fair enough. So Carroll about 65 metres out. He's just going to have to set it up towards a contest. Fly over the back, no mark taken. Aspley have the numbers. Hand pass away from Ives towards the boundary. Again, it's going to be tied up by Cordell.
I don't think Sydney University should just get caught up kicking to a pack, because Lawrence and Gross just will spoil it all day. They'll clear the ball without doubt when you throw in Dawson to that mix.
So getting his Vela, hand passes up, but he's turned it over straight away. Templeton will send it towards halfback. They got some space here again, the Hornets. It will go to Stanley. Now the problem with that space, there was pretty much no one ahead of the ball, so he's had to be held up here. There's Jack Stanley. Now he's just going to send it long towards a contest. Freeman's the target. He's got body position, needs the bounce to favour him. He'll tap it towards the boundary. Eventually goes out of play. It looks like this afternoon he's got Ned Reinhardt for company currently. There'll be one to monitor as the game goes along.
Yeah, developing player Ned Reinhardt, of course, was on the Swans Academy list, and has been with the university side, I think, last year and this year. Suffered some injury. I think he might have even gone overseas for a little while during the season. We'll see how he goes on Freeman today. The big kick from Bartholomeus just clears the area right to centre wing. Pack of players, one of which was Banjuelos. That's the way you've got to get it out there, Riley. You've got to roll it around the mouth and get it out. Banjuelos. That sounds good to me.
So back at the contest. Spencer got front position that time, won the tap down, goes straight to Templeton. Well done here from the Hornets. Sent forward there from Ives. Good kick. Stanley couldn't take the mark, though. The students have got to scramble. Short hand pass to Hiscox, who is a dasher. He likes to run. It's a good kick towards half-back as well. He's a very clean player, Hiscox. You'd want him to get a bit more of the footy, but not to be. Stern sends it forward, but that's not the greatest of kicks. It must be said, and the mark has been taken by Dawson, who's had a very, very good year for Aspley.
Started, I think his first game or two were a bit slow, but since then he's really built into the season. Both Stackelbergs are there. Neither of them get it on this occasion. Giles tried to bust through, couldn't do it, but got it on the second opportunity. Kicks it deep. Freeman's right there. Which way will this bounce? This will go through. Jono Giles tried to be the bull and then provided the China. That's a goal. Absolutely wonderful stuff by Jono Giles. I don't think he was shooting. He was shooting for Freeman, but shot the lights out.
That he certainly did. And it brings the margin to 5 points. 2-1-13, the 1-2-8, 15 and a half gone into this first quarter. And I know it's only early, but you can already see at the moment, a very talented Ned Reinhardt you mentioned, but Freeman, it just looks like his experience in positioning is a bit better than him at the moment. He got back shoulder on that occasion, and it was either going to be a goal or a mark either way. And he does have some height on Ned Reinhardt, of course, about 6 centimetres and I think about 15 kilos actually.
Yeah, he's going to want to have a run and jump at the ball, Reinhardt, just to try and take the ball away from Freeman. That experience is shining through, of course. Freeman's had a fair dip at it at AFL level, coming back from the Brisbane Lions. Tagliabue gets it down. Foster just taps it in the way. They're just going to come away with this nicely. Cole, little chipping ball. Davies should get there. Well done by the students, and they can answer pretty swiftly here, although Davies, tough shot.
It is a very tough shot, but he's a very talented player. Second leading goal kicker in the NEAFL this year with 31 currently. And you get the feeling he's going to be very important to their hopes of not just today, but making the finals. He's one of their main focal points going forward.
He's one that can really stretch Gross and also Lawrence back there. And he kicks it and it just slides across the face and just sneaks in for the behind. If you've seen the rainbow colours there, we better give that a bit of a plug. And both sides wearing what is gear that commemorates Pride Round. So it's great to see at NEAFL level, and all levels of football in Queensland, I think it is, celebrating Pride Round. Gavin Gross has the ball, half back on this commentary side of the ground.
So Gross, again, he's Been forced to hold it up. He looks like he's going to have to go up the line towards a contest. Freeman is in position 1A, went over the back slightly, misjudged it. Giles, the goal kicker, hand passed it short to Coughlin, who got pushed over straight away, and Reinhardt's given away the free kick. A little bit of discipline, you probably have to say, because I reckon he would have caught him nonetheless as soon as he got it.
Bit ticky touchwood for mine.
Coughlin towards the forward 50. That's come off like a mongrel. But Freeman, well, he had 2 bites of the cherry, and he eventually got taken high by Barton. And he's going to have a shot at goal. Pretty elementary position here for Jono Freeman, and he should extend the lead to 10 points, you would imagine.
Yeah, I think Freeman was going to take the mark there. And there's a second bite of the cherry where Barton actually dragged him down, or hit him a bit high, according to the umpire. So either way, I think Freeman's going to be the beneficiary.
Big kick here for Jono Freeman. He's been very consistent this year for the Hornets with consistent streams of goals, but he'll come in to extend it out to 10 points the margin and get a little bit of a break. Sends it on its way. The umpire does a little bit of a dance step, but it doesn't matter because it's a goal. That's 3 on the board for the Hornets, and they move out to a 10-point lead. 3-1-19 to 1-3-9. 18.5 minutes gone here in the first quarter.
Well, they've just looked a little bit more dangerous when they've had a bit more of a free run at it. Aspley. Just that, I've liked the way Templeton's gone about it so far as well. In terms of stats there's a number of players with 5 possessions, including Payne, Giles and Spencer, along with Cody Stackelberg. Got to get the Connor and Cody's the right way around today. And then Jackson Allen. Templeton, a couple of clearances for his forward disposals, and just like the way he links up, and he's not as well celebrated through the midfield as what Ives and Payne are, but I think he's an important cog in their wheel.
He certainly is. So the students, you feel, need to, or would hope to get the next goal, just to stay in touch and keep real tight against this Aspley outfit. So back in the middle. Rux will go at it, give the honours to Spencer that time. Tagliabue, though, got it off the hands. Eventually kicked forward towards the forward 50 here. Gross should get there first for the Hornets. Well, that was quite intelligent. He tapped it forward about 10 metres. And, well, Crockmar might consider himself a little bit unlucky there, because the free kick to Bolch.
He really buckled at the knees just as the contact came, didn't he, Bolch?
He certainly did. He'll send it up the line to a 1-on-3, it must be said, but no mark taken. It came off the hands of Golden, eventually getting it to Hiscox towards the forward line. But again, the students, they've had 9 inside 50s so far, but a lot of their ball movement's been a bit aimless. And this is where Aspley are dangerous as Lawrence goes wide.
Does go wide, go laterally. He finds Lipscomb. I like the way he's gone about it. And again, commentator's curse, he kicked it straight to Davies. Davies up, plays on quickly, looking for a target, can't quite find one. And they can get out of trouble. No, because Lipscomb had his kick smothered, so it comes back again. And the kick, it was an absolute ripper, because it was Harry Morrison who just got on the end of that smother, and he went underground and put it right on through. So lucks of fortune, I suppose, from the students' point of view, but poor ball security and management from the Hornets there has resulted in that goal, and they kick their second and move to 2-3-15. Aspley 3-1-19. How'd you see that one, Riley?
Yeah, I don't think Jap Lipscomb would want to watch that one in the review. That minute wasn't his greatest, it must be said. But the students, I mentioned, they did want to get that reply, and just to stay in touch, well, that's what they've done. And they're getting a lot right in terms of pressure and everything till about half forward, but their entries inside 50 so far have been a bit poor for mine.
Yeah, they haven't been the best in terms of that, but they've had 5 scores already on the board. Good tackle there. That's from Vella, just ties the ball up. Cody Stackelberg gets up. I'm going to trip myself up all day. They're playing in different positions. Cody in the midfield and Connor up forward. Tagliabue just takes it out of the ruck. Right inside forward 50, a bit indiscriminate again. Didn't get over the top to Davies and instead dropped down and found Liam Dawson. Dawson goes out wide, looking for the big boy in Spencer, and he just puts it in that big abdomen of his. Still just behind centre as he gives it to Payne. Oh, we're going to take it back.
I think it might have been a little bit close to the man on the mark there. So Spencer Do it all again, sends it towards half forward, goes over the back, and now it's Hampton. Well, they thought he was going to run onto there. Reinhardt, he's had a couple of shaky moments, got it away just. Hiscox towards the wing position. Cordell was there for the students, but he was content to push Lipskin up under it. He socketed it out of play.
Now, hit-outs is where Jake Spencer has been excelling this year, and he's also done some great things around the game, the ground as well. But I like the way Tagliabue is starting to attack and trying to move him around. No real clear winner of the ruck contest. You probably would have favoured Spencer, though. He got body position. Spencer, the big boy, gets it a handball out. And it might have been Ives he got it out to. Had his kick smothered. And holding the ball. The decision there will go the way of Aspley, getting up with it on that occasion. Who we got there? That is Bulch. So Bulch just lobs it up deep. Good spoil there by Barton, the veteran. Stanley couldn't handle it. Golden did well. Coming out there was the students, but it's going to come back in. Craven just chips the ball in. Barton with the spoil again. Stewart under pressure, indiscriminate. And they'll turn it over yet again, although Craven just held on to it just for that fraction too long, and they're away, the students, up the outer wing.
That they certainly are. They can go towards half forward, but again, the kick's poor. Stern's thereabouts. This should be a goal, though. Davies, it's going to be a foot race. Stern should get there first for the students. He soccers it on and he puts them in front. Well, that was not necessarily textbook, but it was just a wave there from the students to force that one forward, and they have hit the front once again. Good game so far, 3-3-21 to 3-1-19, 24 minutes gone into this first quarter.
Well, I think the player there that probably didn't help Aspley's cause in defence was Jordan Arnold. He went to ground, and the ball escaped him, and that allowed the run of the students just to push the ball forward a bit further, and then it became the foot race, didn't it? And once you're doing that against the big boys, and there's Lawrence, and although he's no slouch, he was going up against the small forwards of Sydney Uni.
He certainly was, and one thing you don't want to let Sydney Uni do, if you do give them some space, they do have some real good small forwards and leg speed. And it was on display there. Well done from Josh Stern, well done to the students. So back in the middle. Rucks go at a very even game this one early. Spencer just goes with the spike. Goes forward about 20 metres. Running onto that one was Coughlin. Couldn't get it. Stevenson dispossessed. It's still in the forward line. Coughlin goes again. Hand pass over the top to Murphy. Well, he tried to tap it on. And there's another tackle laid inside forward 50. And it'll be a stoppage about 45 metres out from the attacking goal here for the Hornets. Bulch appealing for a free kick, but nothing doing.
Buckled at the knees again. You're not going to get away with that forever. Spencer, dispossessed. No free kick paid there. Tough, hard work there. Cole had his kick smothered, then went again. Just off the ground he went. Run by Ben Wellos. They feed the ball out. Sirakoski. Just the 1-2, and then just cleverly taps it back. Cordell was involved, then back. Stern. He's already kicked one this afternoon. Or just overrunning it at the wrong time. There was Crockmole. And there's Morrison. He's already got one as well. Just went around the corner, but gross. He just clasps it with the one hand and then belts it with the left foot. Can't get it far enough, and Goulden should get back on this.
So Goulden wheels onto the left, goes short. Good kick there to Vella. And the students, they're doing a lot right, but again, it's just that forward 50 entries letting them down a bit at the moment. You'll set it up. It's going to be a contest. Davies the target. Good spoil at the back from Gross. Spencer couldn't quite get it. Off hands. Hand pass back to Stevenson. He's got Cole at the back. He does a dance step. That was well done towards space. Banuelos didn't quite get there. Instead it was hand fast further forward. Crockmale in the pocket. They're queuing up here. Bartholomeus has kicked it.
Might be Stern.
Stern, my apologies. But nonetheless, that's number 2 for Josh Stern. That's number 4 for the students. And I tell you what, early signs are good signs for them. 8 points the margin, 4-3 to 3-1. Later stages of this first quarter.
Well, just you can sense that they've brought some real energy to this, and they're actually trying to move the ball far quicker through the middle of the ground. I mentioned it before, but it's very evident that they don't want the Aspley defence to settle and them to have to bomb it inside forward 50. They need to give the likes of Davies a run at it rather than have to jump into a pack. But more importantly, their small forwards really need to make sure they can get it at ground level and have the space to operate in the best manner that they possibly can. So the margin is 8 points. Played 27 and a quarter minutes of this first stanza. Spencer went high. Just emerging with it was Banjuelos. Gets it down to Stevenson, a veteran. Good spoil there by the defence. Try to push it to the boundary. They'll win it now. Jackson Allen on his unfamiliar left and just finds Jono Giles at half back. Handballs over the top. It's it across. So chain of handballs here. Well done there. They're taking it down that outer side. A free kick. Advantage paid. Bolter's involved. Murphy. Also Nellis there. Murphy with a bit of space. Puts his skates on. Straightens up. Round the corner. Can't get enough on it, and Reinhardt it is who'll clean it up for the students.
So Reinhardt on the last line did well. Cordell, well, he had to half volley it, couldn't quite get it. Now he's taken by 2. It's going to be tied up, and I reckon at quarter time, Coach Dan Webster might point out to Billy Murphy, he had an option inside 20 metres open. Instead he went for the sticks.
I like the work of Cordell in the back half there. Just held the ball up, knew he was outnumbered, and just didn't want to try and give the Aspley attackers a chance.
Stewart dispossessed there from Murphy. Hand pass short from Ives towards the boundary. It goes out of play. I know it's only early, Kanga, but the students, I'm really liking a lot of what they're doing, and I think they're playing with it. They are doing something a bit different to the last time these two sides played.
Yeah, that they are. And I think you'll find Daniel Webster will look at this at quarter time and might tweak a few things. Spencer went from the ruck there. Just got it forward 20 or so metres. Plenty of players around it, just got rushed over the boundary line. Bartholomeus racked him up last time, Bartholomeus, that they were here, and he's just a bit of a ball magnet. He's got 5 disposals so far. Ball back into play. Spencer just owns front spot there from Tagliabue. Barkley to Hiscox. Just outside the defence there. Dawson just couldn't affect anything. That's while Cole. Just wrapped up by Lipscomb, right near the fence. No harm done, and we'll have a ball thrown in.
So a goal either way will be massive for both sides coming into quarter time. Sydney Uni, you'd think they do deserve this lead. They've had quite a lot of the ascendancy in a lot of ways. Spencer won the tap down. Eventually hand passed away to Templeton. Templeton goes to Hayden, sends it inside 50, and getting front position there it was Jono Freeman. And he just read that beautifully off the boot, and this kick is certainly not beyond him. He'll have to kick from about 40 metres out, not that tight of an angle.
Good forwards play in front, don't they? And when those indiscriminate kicks come in and you're the man in front, quite often you're going to be the beneficiary of doing what you do best and shoot for goal, which Jono Freeman will.
He's already kicked one this afternoon, Jono Freeman. This is for number 2. So we tick towards quarter time. I think the commentary cursed there. Sent it well to the right, and it's gone through for a behind. So 4-3 to 3-2. We've ticked over 30 minutes into this first quarter. Been a good game so far.
And it has. Just assessing the options. That is Veal. Puts it out wide. Tagliabue at the back, stayed down. Hiscox just feeds it back inside, but the ball was too close to the boundary line for the umpire's liking, and they adjudicate that they will throw it back in, half back. Out of side. NEAFL TV, thanks for joining us. Thanks to our broadcast partner, Bar TV. Close to quarter time here. 7 points is the margin.
So there's the throw, and it was a bit off kilter. Tagliabue won it down well, and they've done really well here, the students, to get it away towards half forward. And Morrison, well, he's got some space, and he's going to have a shot here for the students, you'd think, just before quarter time. And this would be massive for their confidence going in.
Well, what about the work there of Bartholomeus just to come off the ruck contest and just deliver? Just the opportunity to extend the score.
It's very crafty. Bartholomeus. Morrison will come in to extend it to 13 points. He sets it on its way. The umpire moves to the right, and it's just gone near side. So one behind, and it's back to that 8-point buffer. 4-4 to 3-2. 32 minutes gone almost into this first quarter.
Jackson Allen, he's charged with the duties of kicking the ball back in. Laser-like pass usually. Didn't have to find out too much about that because the siren sounds. At the first break, I guess we thought Aspley, as the fourth side in such good form, haven't quite exerted themselves the way they have in previous games thus far. Sydney Uni, they've come to play though. And I said we've noticed, as we've seen James Ives having a bit of a limp in front of us. Not sure if it's a knee or a bit of a corky there, but it'll be disastrous for Aspley if it's something enough to keep him out of the game. But Sydney Uni, all credit their way, Riley.
It certainly is. They came out with some very good intent, and I think in the last few minutes of that corner, they started to fix up slowly that ball movement inside 50, but we'll just run you through the goal kickers of this one so far. First for the Students, 2 goals to Josh Stern and singles to Morrison and Foster, whilst for the Hornets, 1 to Connor Stackelberg, 1 to Giles and 1 to Freeman.
And we'll just might do a couple of quick stats here before we go to the break. Possessions going Sydney Uni's way, 92-82. Hitouts going Aspley's way, of course. The big boy, Jake Spencer, 19 of those. He's got all of them, 19 for Aspley and 6 to Sydney Uni, but clearance is actually going the other way, 16-9. So they've been reading it off the hands of Spencer. Inside 50s are 15-13 Sydney Uni's way, and quickly the leading couple of possession getters for each side. Jake Spencer, he's got 7 disposals to lead Aspley, and often you see that with the likes of Ives and Payne in the side. Jackson Allen has got 6, and Jono Giles, that fantastic goal in that first quarter as well. He's got half a dozen to his name. Bailey Stewart, he's got 7 for the Students, and Bartholomeus, he's got 3 clearances to go with his 6 possessions, and Will Sierakowski and also Lukey Vella. They've got half a dozen each. So at the first break, it's going to be the Students. They hold sway by 8 points. We'll be back after this break. Thanks to our broadcast partner, Bar TV. You're on NEAFL TV for this round 17 clash here. Voxon between Aspley and Sydney Uni. Welcome back to Voxson Oval here in the beautiful northern suburbs of Brisbane. A few clouds in the sky, but don't think you can complain too much. The only person that might be complaining at the moment is Aspley coach Daniel Webster, because his Chargers at quarter time set themselves 8 points down. So Sydney Uni have come out to play. And of course we are here thanks to our broadcast partner Bar TV on NEAFL TV. Mark Kennedy is my name, or Kanga as some people like to call me. And not my mother, she calls me Mark, but this bloke here, Riley Staraj, he's joining me, and it was an entertaining first quarter, Riley.
It certainly was, and I think the students, they started very positively for them. Maybe want to clean up their ball use a fraction going forward, but they go in front 8 points as the second term gets underway. Spencer wins it down, tapped over the top there from Giles. Stewart gets it, but he went straight to Payne inside the forward 50, and that is a ripping kick. Stackelberg couldn't take it. The students will do well here. Golden sends it towards, well, it looked like it was going to go towards the middle, but they butchered it. Giles, he slips over, hand pass back to the big man in Spencer. Don't know if you wanted his hands in general play. Eventually Cole falls over. It's tied up down the bottom of that pack, and it's going to be called for a ball up by umpire Chris Mellon. Just to remind you, umpires this afternoon, Andrew Adair, Sam Sutherland, and the aforementioned Chris Mellon.
Riley Staraj, he loves to butter people up. And of course, the umpire's advisor right here beside us here, so making sure he's in his good books. Middle of the ground now, just bursting through on that occasion. Barkley's there, just tries to put the pressure on. Aspley did well. Payne, back to Dawson, got the block there from Arnold. And the ball, the kick. Templeton was the target. And just spoiled out there nicely by Lachlan Kilpatrick, the boy from Manly.
Great suburb that in Sydney. So back at the contest, Tagliabue and Spencer go at it again. Give the honours that time to Spencer, but Tagliabue followed up his work, eventually kicked from Hayden, but it's turned over. And Bartholomeus is having a ripping contest so far. For the students, we'll send it towards half forward, towards the contest. Davies the flyer, so Spencer off hands. Hayden there first for the Hornets. He couldn't extract it. Lawrence is tied up. And I think at the moment, one of the real areas of concern here for the Hornets, currently hit-outs 22-6 in favour of them, but they're down in the clearances by 6 right now, so they're not getting any hit-outs to advantage, really.
Which is a big area. Tagliabue even wins that and then gets his own clearance, kicks it inside forward 50, and that's a nice mark taken by Cordell. He's just worked between half forward and half back nicely today so far. He's had a lot of possession. And just the... I can't even find him there. Just the 5 disposals and a kick right to the line just off target. So the students, they extend to another point. 9 points of difference now. It's Jackson Allen. He'll prepare to bring it back in.
So Allen will eventually bring it in. He'll send it towards the point of the square, but it looks like it's going to be marked and turn over. That it is from Barton. So he's about 70 metres out. We'll send it right back into 50. And Banuelos has taken the mark, and he can have a shot. He just had a little bit of space there inside the attacking 50, and he can extend it to a handy 15 points.
I'm not sure the defensive coach of Aspley would be real happy with that. They're a little bit loose around the edges there, and as soon as Barton took the mark, you would have thought they would have been scrambling for a man inside forward 50, but Banuelos, he can line them up.
So Banuelos will come in. Kick from just over 40, sends it on its way, makes the umpire work, and accuracy at the moment, the issue for the students, 4-6. Currently the ledger, 10-point lead though over Aspley. We're currently sitting at 3-2. Had a lot of the play in their half, Sydney Uni.
My concern is they need to, particularly early in this game or before half-time, really try and put Aspley to the sword and under some pressure. It's gross. That's a lovely mark at half-back. We've got one down. It might be James Nellis, the Michael Jackson of the NEAFL competition, in glove only. Kicks it down the line. Barton got the hand up, but Aspley, they'll take it away. Templeton right over the top of it. Bailey Stewart's right there with him. They'll just feed the ball up. Payne. Just handball on that occasion. Couldn't find his target. Just goes back the student's way, but Gavin Gross, he just tries to put it back with a bit of interest. Couldn't get enough purchase on it. Now they just stacks on the mill. And a quick, quick hello. to Jean Freeman. Matty Payne's grandmother, 92 years young, says that she's Matty Payne's biggest fan. And we'll get back to that in a moment. Inside forward 50. There you go, Goulden. Just for the students, he's just trying to mop it up. They might just get themselves into a bit of trouble here. Bartholomeus just kicks it out, and they do it well. They'll find Sierakowski of the will variety. We'll do that cheerio in a bit more detail later.
His kick wasn't the greatest, but it was fortuitous enough because Barton's got a little bit of space. He takes a bounce, gets to 55, kicks a mongrel towards the square. Davies does well to bodyline it, should kick it, and does kick it. And just like that, Sydney Uni get that much-needed conversion. They've outplayed Aspley so far, it must be said, and the scoreboard shows it's 5-6-36 to 3-2-20. Good work there to rebound off half-back.
Jeez, it was an ugly kick inside forward 50 again, though, wasn't it? He set Davies a task, and I thought for a moment that Lawrence was going to be the right place at the right time, being piggy in the middle between the ball and Davies, but just came out to meet it. Davies got around his opponent there and kicked truly. It's really a bit unconventional of sorts, but I tell you what, they're really putting the best foot forward. 16 points in front.
But they certainly are. And it's good signs for them. They know how important this clash is in their hopes in season 2019.
The ball back in the middle. Tagliabue and Spencer stand down. Gene Freeman will be happy with that because that's Matty Payne right there. Gets a handball away but didn't quite find his target. Will Sierakowski back to half forward for the students, but Gavin Gross with a big fist to centre wing. On at that time was Veal. And he's wrapped up, probably taken to the butchers. You like that pun there?
Every time you come up with a pun, Kanga, some of the better ones that you'll ever hear. So back at the contest, Rux will contest it. Well done from Tagliabue. They get the tap, however, went straight to Ives, who will get it, suckering sort of a ball. Kilpatrick tried to bodyline it. Bartholomeus, he's got a bit of leather poisoning at the moment because he's getting quite a bit of it. Eventually sent forward from Stackelberg. Inside forward 50. There's a free kick, and it's going to go the way of Reinhardt. Freeman, I think, just grabbed the jumper. And the umpire sees that every time. They'll give away a free kick to his opposition.
So Reinhardt, back pocket. This is where they really let themselves down last time. Barton at the front spot there, but Giles does well. Pushes off Barton, has his kick smothered by Kilpatrick though. Veal's in there, just tries to work the ball free, couldn't do so. So plenty of players around the contest yet again, just trying to burst through. Was the Aspley player. See him getting up, might be Templeton, is it? Yes, it was, and couldn't quite make it through to the other side to impact the scoreboard, but they'll have the chance as the ball's thrown up.
Give the honours to Tagliabue that time. Will Sierakowski gets it away, only about 10 metres though. First there for the Hornets is Payne, gets a hand pass sort of laterally, but it works out all right. It gives Bulch a bit of space. We'll send it towards the forward line. Oh, that's a really good mark from Tagliabue. He just jumped in front of Freeman there on that occasion. And despite losing the hitouts currently, I actually don't mind the way he's going today. He's moving quite well. Hand pass across, intelligently enough. And the kick was good enough to Barton, who started to get a little bit busy. He'll send it towards the wing position. Now they've got a little bit of space. Will Sierakowski, if he can take it, he's got Stern. And Stern has got daylight and grass. Takes a bounce. He will run in. He'll take a second bounce. 30 metres out. Goes towards goal and easy as you like. And the students have got out to a 22-point lead. 8.5 minutes into this second quarter. 6-42 to 3-2-20. And that's number 3 for Josh Stern. He is being very, very dangerous currently.
I'll tell you what I do like, and that is Barton off half-back. He provides a little bit of experience, steadiness, and on that occasion, that was a beautiful kick to the advantage of Sierakowski. And then as soon as Stern saw that Sierakowski had the run of it, knew he was going to get it on the full, he just broke for the goals, and the handball came across. And as you said, it was daylight and grass, and there was nothing but class there in the finish. So wonderful stuff. 22 points to lead. How about this? Turning it on its head so far, the students. We'll see what can unfold. Big Ben Wellos in the ruck, but taking it away is Matty Payne. Clearance for him. The big fist offensively from Stanley, but ends up with the students, and they can run through the middle of the ground. Barkley did the old 1-2. In fact, it was Bailey Stewart. Now to Stern. Got 3 for the afternoon. Dangerous spot again, Morrison. He was there, but it was Lawrence that got the spoil. Ives. And now the run of the fella Hampton. Although it's intercepted through the middle of the ground. And Bartholomeus gives it to the advantage of Stern. This time he's got Gross in front of him. Handballs in front of himself. And professional free kick there from Gavin Gross, I would think, just to try and stop Stern getting around him. Clever play, and he plays on quickly. Goes for goal! And misses. That was for number 4. All in the first half from the young man in Josh Stern. Exciting stuff.
He's an exciting player, so Jackson Allen send it towards, Spencer. That was really good body work. And eventually it's sent away from Sirakoski off the hand pass. Contest coming up. Now inside forward 50. Little bit of space. Cole gives the hand pass. That's a shot at goal. And that's another one to the students. And that was Cordell. And I don't know who saw this coming, because they have turned it on since Aspley got a 10-point lead in the first quarter. The students have kicked the last 6, and they're 29 points in front. 7-7 to 3-2. And you just get the feeling the alarm bells might start to be ringing in the coach's box to our right.
Yeah, that they are. And I think big Jake Spencer on that far side there. Just want to say well done to Will Sirakoski. The kick was aimed at Spencer. He had the mismatch in height and body weight and everything. And no, I won't be that clever and say something derogatory about anybody here. But Spencer should have done a bit better there, and really should have taken the mark or brought it to ground. But Sirakoski, he put it to his advantage on the ground and took off. And took full advantage, and that's really, those 1%ers have really held up today for the students.
That they have. So the 2 secondary ruckmen go at it in the middle. Nellis wins it down that time. Stewart taps it over his head intelligently enough. Bunwalos tries to go after it, then picks up his own ball, throws it to himself. We went straight to Ives, then fed off hands. Lipscomb, well, he's had a couple of shaky moments today, and he's tied up. And the students, their good is fantastic. Their bad is awful. They brought the good today.
And Lipscomb, you can see the difference between the QAFL and the NEAFL. He would have probably shrugged that tackle at QAFL level, but NEAFL, a little bit stronger, but although he does very well on that occasion. So well done for the young man. Just got the better of Cordell on that occasion, and it was the other way around on the last one. Kicked a half forward. Bulch handballed it to himself in the finish and then couldn't find his target. Oh, and that's a high tackle, so free kick coming the way of the students. And that was just careless, really. There was a lack of technique as far as the tackler there goes. It's Jordan Arnold, the tackler there. And the player with the free kick is Darcy Cordell. Gets up. The old-fashioned coat hanger.
That was the coat hanger. He just went lower and harder on that occasion, Cordell. He's had a good couple of minutes. We'll send it towards Davies, up against Lawrence. He's just edged under at a fraction, but causes the contest. Ives first on the ground. He's tied up by Will Sirakoski, who gets up. Ball pops out. Vella lays the tackle. And it's going to be a ball up here in the students' forward half. If you've just joined us, they kicked the last 6. And have gotten right on top in this one. Bulch immediately tackled. Cole goes in hard. Just pops out as another free kick, and it's going to go the way of the students again. So everything going right for the visiting side, and Cole will have it 60 metres out. Well, that's not the greatest of kicks. He'll send it short off, hands the hand pass go. He's going to try and redeem himself. Goes hard, gives it away to Vella. Goes again. But Allen does well to save it. Lipscomb, well, Bulch has turned it over. This is getting very dangerous. Aspley, they just need to calm down at the moment, and that's fortuitous because Hampton has it half back, but they're looking really shaky right now.
Yeah, just a little bit of composure needed in a few instances there. Hampton goes down the outer side. The early jump from Freeman. The ball came to ground. Kilpatrick, he'll just give it back with a little bit of vigour and finds Davies. Davies, point of the square. Goes long over the top. Foster was there, but just couldn't push his man off quick enough to get back into that drop zone and just rolls harmlessly through as far as Aspley are concerned for a point. And only a point for the students, but they move to 30 points in the lead. I picked Aspley by 5 goals, and it's the other way around so far as Jackson Allen brings it back into play.
Brings it back in the play, does Freeman the target. Oh, he's done well there. Jono Freeman, he just had the body position on that occasion against Reinhardt. Intriguing battle, that one. He'll go short down the line. You'll find Connor Stackelberg, of course. 2 Stackelbergs out there this afternoon. But right on the true wing, will send it towards half forward. Well, Stanley's flown uncontested. He's about 60 metres out from goal. He's got to wait for the troops to arrive. The students have done well to flood the 50. So he's going to have to just set it up to a contest. They need a mark. Freeman from the back. Couldn't take it. Off hands. Got to bounce in the square. That's a soccer and that's a goal. To say that was needed was an absolute understatement. And Bolch has kicked that one. 4 goals the margin now. 4-2-26. Aspley behind the students. 7-8-50.
Well, it was just a bit of good play, wasn't it? They just moved it down that outer side, got it moving. And that Freeman mark, just from the kick in, that's the one. That sure of hands, and they can just transport it down. They are very deliberate, generally, the way they go about it, Aspley. And that was terrific work and well finished off, albeit in tight territory and circumstances by Bolch. Had the 9 disposals so far. Kicked the goal there. Leading possession getters Jackson Allen and Matty Payne have had 12 apiece. While for the students, Bartholomeus, the more ball magnet, he's had 13, including 4 clearances, 3 inside 50s, and Sirakoski. Very good second quarter so far. He's had 11 disposals. So the margin back to 4 goals, 24 points. Bounce in the middle. Tagliabue and Spencer. Tagliabue does well, but Spencer at ground level, he'll get it, pick it up, go to half forward, or right on forward 50. Over the head of Freeman, allows Barton to give it to Veal. Measure it up, just gets around one, little bit of candy. Or Barton couldn't handle the handball though, which provides the opportunity for Coughlin. He had his kick smothered. Cody Stackelberg up towards Nellis. He couldn't take it. Ball at ground level. Hiscox did well. Tagliabue, the big boy, gives it across. And then Allen just used his bulk to hit his player off the ball. Cody Stackelberg, and down deep. Just kicked it to the advantage of Jono Freeman. And Freeman can go back and try for his second. Made a meal of one before. See what he can do on this occasion.
That he did, but that was really good work from Freeman as the kick came in. He just worked Reinhardt out of it. And this should be number 2. And this should bring it back to 3 straight kicks.
It was the handball that just put the students under pressure. Is Freeman trying to go with the check side there. Sure, that was the best result. He probably could have gone with a drop punt for mine. I didn't think the angle was too bad, but not to be as the students bring it back in and go up to half back. Barton is a target. That's a big contest. And then the quick kick inside forward 50. Finds Freeman again, although he can't stomach it on that occasion. Goes with the left. This one might be a bit better. It's what he should have done the first time. Narrows the margin again. Back to 17 points.
The old 7-point play, that one. He made the easy look difficult a little earlier, and then he made the difficult look quite easy on that occasion. That takes a hell of a lot of skill, especially for a big man. And he dropped the mark he probably should have taken, but he did well to recover and good composure. And Aspley just kicked the last couple of goals here. They steadied a little. And I think one of the things they will back themselves in, you have mentioned a couple of times that it is warm conditions out there this afternoon, a lot warmer than it normally is around Sydney at this time of year. They might just back in their fitness as the energy might start to go out of the students' legs.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, they didn't arrive till about 7 or 7:30, so by the time they got to their hotel last night, 8:30, settled down and come for a walk. And just wonder, I know it's only an hour and a bit travel time in the plane, but big build-up. And you never know when you want those extra couple of percentage points of effort. They took it forward, the students, and then given back. Out to this commentator's wing. Veal lays a tackle, does well. Jono Giles is there and a little bit more intent on making contact with Veal. Thankfully not with his teeth. He's not that hungry. And Veal, he'll get up, as does Giles.
Well, Freeman slips over, so Tagliabue takes it uncontested, but only got half a kick away. Sirakoski, ditto. Goes about 5 metres. Lawrence is tied up. going to be a stoppage once again. Again, the clearance battle at the moment. Sydney Uni, we've got an ascendancy by 8, and you can see it at the moment, despite the hit-out dominance perceived from the Hornets. So they're doing well at reading these taps. Well, Freeman bounced off his shoulder. Payne falls to ground, tries to get it out. Sierakowski, ditto. Tagliabue taking a little high, but his head over the ball. And then Veal escorts it over the line. We're about to hit time on into this second quarter. If you've just joined us, the students have really come to play this afternoon. They know how important this one is, and they've got a 17-point lead.
Gee, Spencer wasn't ready for it. Neither was Tagliabue, but he reacted first. He gets the handball away. Bailey Stewart now to Sierakowski. That is Davies. Generally good in that situation. Had a run at it and then had his legs chopped out from under him. And the ball was tied up away. I think there was anything malicious about it. He just players going for the footy. But Davey just lost his balance and came down nice and solidly on his back. He's up and going again, thankfully.
So Rux will contest once again. Tagliabue got the push off with the footy. It's going to be tied up.
Well, that was about the... they were talking about the clearances there, Riley. That was about the margin at quarter time. So I think they've sort of steadied the ship somewhat. Aspley. Payne brings it away.
Payne goes towards the wing. Connor Stackelberg, the target, got a hand pass away, goes straight to Kilpatrick. Then he'll find Carroll off hands. Hayden, well, he's immediately attacked by Bailey Stewart. The umpire says, give it to me. But we'll do it once again. Tagliabue against Spencer. Give the honours to Spencer. Straight to Payne. Set play that one. It was fantastic. Murphy a little more up the field than we're used to seeing him. Hand pass inside. This is good run. Jasper Craven, haven't called his name too often. Templeton back to Murphy. They're just missing the handballs by a fraction. Eventually turned over. Bartholomeus sent forward by Kilpatrick towards the forward 50. Davies! That is a fantastic mark from behind. He timed his leap to perfection. Goes back to Kilpatrick. Back to Davies towards the forward 50. Contest coming up. It comes off hands. Snapper goal from Stern has hit the post.
I think it might have been touched anyway, was it?
I think it might have been too. But Josh Stern, he is proving so dangerous once the ball hits the deck.
A difficult matchup at the moment, isn't it? 3 first half goals as a small forward and at least 2 points. Shots on goal are plenty from Josh Stern. Wide Aspley from the kick in. The margin now is 18 points, 3 straight goals. So up towards the wing. That's a nice mark, I thought, there. Paid to Will Martin, son of Andrew Martin. Very good player for Windsor Zilmia back in the QAFL days. Big, solid centre-half forward he was, Andrew. And his son, plenty of ability. Ball to half forward, Aspley, but just attacking it nicely there was Barton, using his experience. Veal goes towards... Well, it goes towards Aspley, really, because Lawrence is there all by himself. Just straightens up on the left. Doesn't deliver as well as he possibly could. Ives got the handball forward. And Nellis has got the... Oh, he's going to push it forward there, but didn't have much room to work with, and out of bounds he went. So throw in. Half forward, out of side. Aspley attack. Another goal before half-time would be very handy.
You feel like this might be a longer quarter. It's been quite a lot of scoring. Freeman got back position that time. Hiscox, though, tried to tap it on. Goes towards the boundary once again. And it'll be thrown in once again.
All right, now I'm going to do this properly. Jean Freeman, 92 years old, Matty Payne's grandmother. #1 fan, I'm told. So watching. She's up in Maroochydore at the moment. And a big shout out to her as Hayden gets the ball inside forward 50. Does it well. Gets it to John O'Giles. Has a man on. As Jasper Craven. And we're going to see whether the son of former Bear and Saint, Danny Craven, can convert. And he'll have to kick it 45 metres. No real angle to speak of.
And not a breath of wind either. He's a very skilled player, Jasper Craven, of course. Last year, played quite a bit of QAFL footy as well, but he's really broken into this side. He's a mainstay of Aspley.
Comes in, loads it up, starts it right, swinging back. No, swinging further away. So only a minus, 17 points now the difference. 24 minutes played. Students a chance to bring it back up the middle, and they do so. This time with Michael Carroll.
Carroll goes laterally. Students ball control from Their defensive 50 has been quite good. Bartholomeus. Barton's got a task here. Couldn't take the mark. Now it'll let the Hornets in. Cole ties it up. And it's going to be another stoppage. It'll be Freeman this time in the ruck for the Hornets against the man Mountain Tagliabue. Well, he tried to win it out of the ruck that time. Couldn't quite. Vella tapped it forward. Now it'll go to Murphy. He's got a little bit of space. He's a quick-heeled man. Sends it forward. Not the greatest of kicks. No, here's a mark taken. I thought Barton might have just spilled it, but he did well on the second attempt. And the left footer will go to the last line of defence.
Well, call to play on here. The students. Bartholomeus does well. Just had the hide on Coughlin. Just did well. Used his body to a great effect. Goulden looked to go one way and then comes back to the boundary side. And then long kick inside forward 50. Crockmore was there. Now Davies runs onto it. Has the run. No, he just can't find the handball of Hiscox. Goes again. He does this time, but Hiscox just drops it like a pud. And Hampton can come away and they can clear. Ives and also Craven. They can raffle it. One gives it to the other. And then they share it back with the other. Ends up with Craven. And here they go. Freeman. Long way from home. Goes underground. And Stackelberg. Ball just right on the boundary line in front of us here. Will it go out? No. Freeman, he's there. Now it goes out. Just you sense there that missed handball from Davies to Hiscock would have probably sent another goal on the board.
You certainly think so. And whilst they have improved their entries inside 50 to a degree, they're still letting opportunities slip, it must be said here, the students. So back at the contest, went over both ruckmen. Eventually hand passed away from Hayden and a kick forward from Ives, but might have said an expletive to himself because it went straight to Kilpatrick.
I'm not sure if he said it to himself because I heard it.
Kilpatrick towards half forward. Dawson always had good position. And he's taken the mark.
Just had to be a bit better there, Crockmole, didn't he? Just a bit stronger in the contest. Dawson just did it too easily. Barton, little handball over the top. And right against the boundary line. And just talking about James Ives, he has been in electric form, it's fair to say, but he's had a few possessions this afternoon, 9, but just hasn't had any great influence on the game at all.
I think his disposal efficiency probably isn't to its usual standard for him. And there's plenty of time to go in this one to rewrite it. Well, that went off Freeman. Murphy steps inside another 40 metres out, sets it on its way. It's bending, but not enough. And Billy Murphy, he's starting to loom a little bit here. He hasn't hit the scoreboard yet, but he's getting to those contests and he's starting to have a little bit of an influence.
I think he hit the scoreboard, the goal sheet, I think 7 or 8 of his first games here at Aspley, and then a little bit more quiet since. Started with a bang. Barton used his body well. Now he's just opened up some space. Hampton was bearing down on him. Stern just slipped over, hands and knees, gets a handball, and Hampton can mop it up. They go backwards, and Aspley can now go forwards. Running with the flight of it was Dawson. Murphy, right there with him, though, was Vella. And with good vigour, just ties him up. Half forward out of side.
So we've almost played 28 minutes of this second quarter. Been a very good contest so far. Goes to the back. Murphy, he'll get the ball. He breaks one tackle, then hand pass. Now the kick inside the forward 50 is going to go out on the full.
Murphy and Vella. Bit of push me, shove you. Not happy with each other.
He's not a great man of stature, Billy Murphy, but he's got a little bit of mongrel about him, you feel. He's got a lot of class. As we've got a slight delay in here because Lewis Stevenson, he's actually had to jump into the car park to get this footy. It's still going.
Long way back to Sydney Uni that way.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Just going to extend this second quarter a little bit. Of course, we are in time on. There we go. Leading possession getters, Matty Payne's had 15 disposals. Jackson Allen, 13. Jake Spencer, Ives and Stackelberg have had 10 apiece, while Bartholomeus has had 16 and Will Sierakowski 13 and Stern 11.
So Stevenson sends it towards the wing position. Big pack of players. Well, Freeman didn't make it look too big because he took that very nicely. He can pretty much send it right back from whence it came towards the forward line. Searching lead from Stackelberg, but it just bounced in front of him and out of play. So a goal to Aspley late would be massive for their confidence because of the first 15 minutes of this quarter, Sydney Uni dominated. If they can get another one, it basically brings it back to that quarter-time margin, and that's something to really take in.
Pull back in. Banuelos in the ruck. Quick kick out, though. That was from Aspley, just inside their forward 50. Cody Stackelberg wrapped up by Stevenson. And the bigger man, and the more experienced man, just put enough body on him just to ensure the ball went nowhere. Now again, Freeman just tried to hit it to the back. Payne, Murphy just tries to get around a couple. Little kick in forward from Arnold. Well done there by Stanley. Just gathers. Then he's just tackled as he's kicked and then round the corner. That was gross and right to the goal line off his non-preferred, the big man. Couldn't quite get it there. The students, they will repel.
That they will. It wasn't a bad attempt by any means. And Barton sends it very wide. Golden, well, he's almost taken the mark. Two Hornets hit each other, but they get the footy nonetheless. Jackson Allen tries to go the don't argue, just breaks away. Coughlin straight to Vella. He's in trouble. He's in massive trouble, and Cody Stackelberg has caught him cold. In the last few minutes, Aspley have just started to wrestle back some momentum. Stackelberg inside the forward 50, late stages, second quarter, big fly, no mark at the back. Kick a goal from Payne is a good one. That's the goal I mentioned, and it brings it back to 10 points the margin, 7-9-51 to 6-5-41. Ripping game of football so far, back and forth, to and fro. Hope the second half is as good as the first.
Well, a couple of times we've just mentioned the lack of composure that Aspley has shown, and a couple of times in their back half they've started to wrestle a bit more momentum back, and with that comes a bit more confidence around the football. And there is a man no more confident around the football and lacks composure than Matthew Payne, of course, multiple NEAFL MVP winner, and he can do it all, whether it's through the middle of the ground. He started the year off half back, and now he's pushing back through the midfield and up forward. He's just sublime when he gets a look at it.
That he is, and I mentioned a few times this clearance differential. Well, those have even right back up now, so the Hornets, they fixed it up.
Tagliabue just got the hit out there. Templeton gets it down. Unable to take it there was Connor Stackelberg, which allows the students to get out of trouble. Reinhardt from defence, and just outpointed on that occasion was Cole by Jasper Craven. This looks inboard, goes long. Over the top of a few, but Nellis is there. Just misjudged by the approaching forward and defender. And Nellis said, thank you. And with that glove, he clutched.
He did certainly clutch that. Last time these two sides played, James Nellis was one of the best on ground, but kicked 3 goals, 5. Could have kicked 7 or 8. As there's the siren, you'd hope, for Aspley's sake, his accuracy is better.
So on NEAFL TV, we're going to be right behind this kick. This to bring it back to 4 points at the main change. And no troubles from James Nellis. The Hornets get around him. They nest. And they do rightly so, because at one stage the margin was 30 points in favour of the students. And now, at the main break, it sits at 4. It's been an enthralling, exciting game. Riley Staraj?
It certainly has. It's been back and forth. The students, for the first 15 minutes of that second quarter, they tidied things up really ahead of the ball, and that's what got them out to that 5-goal lead. And one thing I have noticed that's been different, and I have liked, whilst the entries inside 50 haven't been the greatest by any means, it's been a bit more ballistic. They've really tried to move it on. But then I think in the last 10 minutes of that quarter, they really started to lose composure behind the ball. And they were showing that for the first quarter and a half, but then Aspley started to get on top. They started winning the clearance battle. They started to get their hands on the ball. They're important users, and they just struggled a bit. And I think the siren came at a perfect time for them, so Coach Tom Morrison can reassess. He can realign their focus, because whilst they did lose that composure, they still got a 4-point lead at half-time.
A few words between the two sides, so a little bit of feeling there, and it has been a bit in these first couple of contests there this year, even though the results have been a bit lopsided, and you sense that there might be some fireworks after half-time on the field in terms of the way both sides are going to crack in to try and really assert their authority and gain the upper hand one way or the other. Of course, Aspley on their home deck. They haven't been beaten here for a little while. And the students, they are on knife's edge for season 2019 in terms of being right on the fringe of the finals. And so this is a real crucial game. We might have a break, I reckon. And it's as good a time as any to catch our breath as the players grab their drinks, their instructions and their breath collectively. And at the main break, it is the home side trailing by 4 points. It's Aspley 7-5-47, Sydney Uni 7-9-51. We're on NEAFL TV. Thanks to our broadcast partner, Bar TV. We'll see you after the break. And welcome back to Voxson Oval here. It's the round 17 clash on NEAFL TV. The visiting side, Sydney University, take a 4-point lead into the second half against Aspley. At one point in the second quarter, they had a 30-point lead and looked to be really starting to run away with this game. But the home side, the Hornets, they really struck back in the second half of that second quarter. And as I mentioned, they're within striking distance, less than a straight kick away. Mark Kennedy here this afternoon. And with me, this man, Riley Staraj, who's going to get us underway for the second half.
Massive second half coming up, ladies and gentlemen, for both sides, but you think particularly for the students in their hopes for the rest of the year. Winning the tap down there was Spencer, but the clearance went eventually away to Bartholomeus. Good tackle laid at half forward.
I think Sydney Uni got to keep the scoreboard ticking over here. They can't fall in the trap of just marking time as much as anything, Riley. And a little bit of a stop here. Umpire just making a bit of an adjustment. Getting his earpiece in, so umpire's advisor James Waldorf can probably get in his ear and tell him what he's doing wrong.
You'd certainly think so. So the kick towards the wing position has been marked by Barkley.
Teaching for stirring me up at half time. Give him grief.
That's all he ever does. So Barkley towards the half forward line. 4 players fall over the contest. Big pack of players still being raffled around. Stern lays a tackle eventually. Will try and pop out. Hand pass over the back towards the boundary now. That's smothered off the boot. Vella's there, but he's been dispossessed. Now Giles will get a little bit of space to clean ball, and a quick set of heels in Hampton. Gave the hand pass away. He'll get it back on the 1-2. He had a hand pass inside the Craven. Instead goes further inboard to the 3-time MVP in Payne towards the forward line. Freeman the target. Trying to get there was Reinhardt, but Freeman got it anyway. Sends it on the hand pass. Now towards the forward line. Martin towards Connor Stackelberg will go inboard, and that's a good kick, and Payne has the chance to put Aspley in front for the first time since the middle stages of the first quarter.
Well, we just mentioned composure, didn't we? And that was good composure by Aspley in the forward half. It wasn't the best kick in by Matty Payne, but sometimes I reckon, and I know his grandmother won't like me saying this, nor his mother, I reckon he sometimes butchers a kick on purpose so he can get it back. Keep racking up the stats. Gives it off, though.
And he does give it off. The kick towards goal holds up in the win from Allen, and uncontested mark defensively for the students, so no harm done. They've got a 4-point lead. And as we've mentioned, it's a massive, massive contest for them as Reinhardt sends it towards half-back.
Goes out wide. Contest there, but just mopping it up there was Hampton. Like him at ground level. Kick coming high into the forward 50. And that's a nice mark there from Reinhardt because Freeman was really reaching for it. But the Go-Go Gadget arms of Ned Reinhardt did the job. Brings it out wide. That's not a good kick though because underneath it there is Jordan Arnold. And he can push it back inside forward 50 for the Hornets. As long. Freeman's a tall target, had the run of it, but Tagliabue, the big man, he just pushes back. Does what a good ruckman should.
Well, he did that until the kick. And it's off hands of Golden.
Sometimes you give a ruckman a rap and, we sort of joke around that, or at least you do, Riley, you joke around they're not real smart people. I wrap them up and reckon they're fantastic and really clever people. Not to be.
That's to be disputed. Tagliabue tries to get the tap down towards the boundary and it's tied up. It's funny, I read a tweet yesterday from former Suns and Blues ruckman Dan Gorringe, who...
Was it in English?
It was in English.
Broken?
Very broken. He was talking
understand?
about it wasn't until halftime of a game he got his kicking licenses. Back at the contest, Vella tries to feed it. Stevenson eventually gets a hat kick, but Gross should mark this. Now, he has more than got the leg. We know that about the veteran who's played his 150th in the NEAFL a few weeks ago. He's going to kick right on the paint.
Yeah, we saw Jackson Allen, who's a very prodigious kick in his own right, have a shot, and it actually pulled up short, albeit a couple of metres further back. So this will actually give us an indication of how this breeze is actually playing because you can see on your cameras for the NEAFL TV just a little bit of breeze in the trees in the background.
So they put the Hornets in front, right on the paint. He sends it on its way. It's held up and, well, he got the leg by quite a bit, but it's out on the full. So first few minutes here in the forward half of the Hornets, but no result on the board. Still 4 points down, 7-9 to 7-5. It's been a fantastic game this afternoon early. Let's hope it continues. As that breeze you mentioned, it looks like it's just picked up in the last 10 minutes, Kanka.
Yeah, I think it does. And right now it's favouring Sydney Uni. So that's going to be very interesting to see the way Sydney Uni can, if they can take advantage, even if it's worth a goal or two, they need to do that, not on their home deck, that they need to take full advantage of every opportunity as Barton hits the ball right to the outer wing. Morrison was up high, then belts it forward, looking for the runners to go onto it. Jordan Hayden was there, gets it to Liam Dawson. Hands through the middle of the ground, puts Lawrence under pressure. In turn, puts Craven, I think it was, under pressure, and they come up with it. Banuelos goes out wide, has Tagliabue, feeds it back. Veal measures out towards Bartholomeus and too wide, so that's a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, I think that inside 50 entry there, I didn't really like the lead towards that area. It was very, very, well, in these conditions, that breeze pushed the ball out of bounds. So Aspley with the footy and half-back and Gross will just hoik it towards the wing. Spencer's got to beat two here. Goes over the back off the hands of Tagliabue. Stewart. Well, he got the hand pass and got immediately wrapped up.
It was hot, the handball, wasn't it?
It was very hot. Sometimes you just need to take the pace off it a little bit, but a little too hard for Bailey Stewart. So, back at the contest, hand pass fed out towards Payne. He's tackled immediately from Vella. Umpire calls play on now. It's over the boundary. There'll be a throw-in. True wing position from Voxson Oval. It's a magnificent day out here today, and it's been a game which has done the day justice.
Well, I don't think the Aspley midfield have had the ride they were hoping for today. They haven't had the influence. But Jake Spencer, he just takes it out. Murphy tries to break through a tackle, can't do so. Turnover. Bartholomeus under pressure. Handballs the ball forward. More in hope than anything else. Vella feeds it out. And then Sierakowski, that's Will, over the top. He was looking for Stern, but getting back there nicely with Dawson, and now Craven's away.
And Craven can go for a little bit of a canter, takes a bounce, sends it towards the wing. It's not the greatest of kicks. He was under pressure from Barton, and now here come the students. Golden, good composure from Golden, and he has found Josh Stern again, who can line up for number 4. He's been the students' most dangerous forward. It's a tough kick here from though it's going to be from about 50.
3 goals, 2. Could easily probably have had 5 straight, such as the couple of near misses. Hit the post once.
So Stern, he's paused in his run up there, but he's going to come in now for the kick. He gets a bit of momentum, sets it on its way. It's going, it's home. He should never have doubted himself, Josh Stern. That is number 4. He's been the most dangerous forward on the ground for either side, and he just sends that margin out again to 10 points. 8-9, 57, the 7-5, 47. First goal of the second half, first score of the second half.
Well, the pass that found Stern was a really good one because they just didn't blaze away. They lowered the eyes. I think it might have been Goulden that passed it in there. And very good thought process about the way they build it up. They know that they've got the tall timber in defence, Aspley, and unless Davies can get a good run and leap at it, it's always going to be tough for him. So they need to utilise those small forwards, use the short targets just to try and break things up and have the Aspley defence second guessing and keep them more accountable so they can't lay off their opponents. So 10 points the margin. 8.5 minutes gone. Spencer took front spot, but Tagliabue, he influenced that enough. And the umpire will call that back, and it's going to be a free kick. Umpire doesn't properly signal what the go was. It's going to go Tagliabue's way. So maybe there was something after the actual ruck contest. Give the ball over, Bartholomeus. Well done there by Gross. Just got to the front spot and did it well. Gathered it again. Got up to Freeman, who put the big dukes up. A couple of those beach weights up on Noosa Main Beach. He's still at it, and his muscle car and his muscle singlet.
Freeman, send it forward towards the contest. It spoiled out the play there from Stanley. It'll be a throw-in. Of course, game very important for both sides. Aspley have top 2 aspirations. There's no doubt about that. Whilst for the students, They simply must win to keep in touch with the top 6. We know how good they can be and how dangerous they can be, but it's been a little too few and far between at stages this year. So back at the contest, Martin, Payne, immediately tackled. It's all tied up.
Not an easy feat because he's a bit of a wriggly worm.
No, certainly not.
Matty Payne.
It's very well done there from Crockmale. We'll have another ball up. Tagliabue gets front position, just got the tap down. Kilpatrick, well, that was fortuitous. Went to Cole, then Crockmale. Davies sends it forward. Now, if this is marked, which it is, from Morrison, Stern's got a bit of space. He can run onto this one for number 5 in the pocket. Dribbling, and she is home. I don't know if they thought Josh Stern had kicked 5 this afternoon, but that's what he's done, and we've only played 10 minutes into the third quarter. 9-9-63 to 7-5-47. He is playing one of his best games of the year, probably his best game of the year, it must be said.
Well, 5 goals, good effort, but what about, it's just the method in which they're doing it all of a sudden. You notice how open the forward line, even though the contest was right in front of us here on the commentary wing, a lot of their forwards are pushed up to make sure they had space out the back. They've drawn the likes of Gross and Lawrence up the ground, their key defenders, so they can utilise the small forward. And it was Stern again pushing into that space. They did anything at all costs just to get it forward over the top, open it up, and let the running do the talking and the leading. So the margin, 16 points. Van Huelos versus Spencer. The big man just knocks him over. Templeton emerges with it on the left foot, goes down deep. Freeman has it. The long arms of Jono Freeman were too good on that occasion. And this will be a good answer for Aspley should they convert.
There's no certainty though for Jono Freeman. He's missed a couple of easy ones, but he should kick it from here. 2 goals too. Number 3, that battle with Reinhardt, it's been very enthralling, it must be said.
It suggests that Freeman, what's he got at the moment? 2. This will be number 3, provided he kicks straight, and he does. Margin back to 10 points, and you'd suggest he's got his nose in front at the moment. Jono Freeman, he's kicked 3 goals, 2, I think he is. 3 goals, 1 he is at the moment. So he's had 4 shots on goal for a key forward early in the third quarter. That's not too bad. But again, Reinhardt's certainly been no slouch and been very, very competitive.
Yeah, he certainly has. And I think Reinhardt as well, he's a little bit undersized in comparison to Jono Freeman, but he's done some nice thing, and his ball distribution at times today has been very good. But goal for goal, and it's really a story of 2 forwards at the moment. Josh Stern down one end and Jono Freeman down the other.
That's right. And just notice we're trying to find Barton there because he's been the rock through the middle of the ground. Bailey Stewart just feeds a handball out. Fortuitously finds Stevenson. He just slices it like I did up on Hamilton Island this week. No bragging though there. Bailey Stewart just butters up again. Hiscox, he's got time, he's got space, he's had a bounce. Approaches forward 50 and it's there! Answer for the students. 16 points the margin yet again. And Jack Hiscox, fleet of foot, and he showed them a clean set of heels.
The Glebe Greyhound, of course, in Jake Hiscox. He's very classy, and he showed some good bit of toe there. And what I've liked about Sydney Uni at different stages is that they've really been quick by foot, and they've been really ballistic inside forward 50. And, of course, congratulations to Jake Hiscox. His 100th game this afternoon in the NEAFL competition. Of course, he was drafted by the Sydney Swans a few years ago. He was on the list for 2 years.
Played 1 game, I believe. So, joins a pretty exclusive club. Well, it's a marvellous effort to play AFL football, but a bit of an exclusive club there to play just 1 game. Now, I'm sure he wouldn't want to be in that club. He would have liked to have played more. Aspley take the ball forward. That was Martin. Andrew Sierakowski does it well. It's back to Reinhardt. Went with the underground option. The minor. Stevenson. Dangerous spot over the top of Crockmale. Here's that man. Stern. Looking, trying to measure it, looking for Cole. Jasper Craven does it well. Just fended off. Found a bit of space and delivered it on the dime. A surgeon. to Martin at halfback.
So Martin will go inboard. He'll find Hayden. But once again, Sterney just getting a bit of space, and it might be exposing a Hornets' weakness defensively against these quick small forwards as Hayden sends a Tagliabue's got his eyes on this, and he virtually took that uncontested. He's got an option in the middle if he wanted. Not the greatest of kicks, though. Veal, well, he was run under it. Now the handball from Bulch to Stackelberg. Sends it inside 50. Murphy's in position 1A. He can't take it. It's still tapped out. Payne, Freeman, 20 out. Sends it and hits the woodwork. So missed opportunity there for the Hornets. 15 points the margin. 10-9 to 8-6. 15 minutes gone into this third quarter.
Well, when I said Jono Freeman had 3-2, I was looking into the future there because he's got 3-2 on the board now. Thought he could have stood up a little bit more. He just tried to kick it around the corner. Ball kept in by the students on the restart. Stevenson goes long down the line. Just there is Cordell. Keeps it in. Lipscomb. He'll pick it up and then...
He's just had a couple of moments today, Jack Lipscomb, he'd probably want back.
Yeah, I agree. Wholeheartedly. And that was there, one of them, in all seriousness. Yep, he'll learn from that. Off the one step. Dawson was under it. Couldn't take the mark. Coughlin gets a quick handball out. Cody Stackelberg dispossessed. He'll go up again, no, but the turnovers come. Bartholomeus got around one. And the kick's over the back. Stern's there, but good defence. Just getting a fist on it there. And very well done in the finish was Jordan Arnold. 1 point. So the margin now out to 16 points.
Alan Short finds Cody Stackelberg. He'll go wide. He's a good kick as well. So the Hornets have it on half back. It's really been goal for goal early in this third quarter. It's been a really exciting contest. Switched across the ground and just content to hold it up at the moment here, the Hornets. Well done from Uni to at least force them to go down the line long. Arnold, that was a good kick though. And they've got out of jail here, have the Hornets. So from half back.
Mind you, they've zoned off well further up the ground now.
They certainly have. Sent towards the wing position now. Big contest coming up. Gross is there, goes out of play. Well, I thought it went out of play. It stayed in the field. Now it'll come back towards half forward. Coming across Foster. Well, he was a bit too late to the contest and it's turned over Aspley's way and they'll be able to go down the wing.
And that they do. They've gone long. There is Payne, just slips out of the tackle of Stevenson over the top. That was well delivered. And Freeman will run into the open goal and kick number 4. So well done there. A little bit of a wizardry by Payne. And the easy as you like goal by Freeman. Brings the margin back to 10 points. Seesawing contest. Enthralling it is. Students still holding sway. But Aspley keep coming on the home deck.
They certainly do, and is their home deck indeed. They're getting it done in two different ways, both sides. Sydney Uni, they've really caused havoc with those smaller forwards of theirs. The South, obviously Josh Dern, he's got a handful currently, but Tristan Davies, he's only kicked the one goal, and Cordell has only kicked the one goal, whilst for Aspley, it's really John O'Free and that big target up there. That's number 4 for him. He's looking very dangerous, and I did say that Ned Reinhardt, he was trying his best valiantly, but again, that size is just becoming an issue, and Freeman did well just to get himself some space and get himself some meterage for number 4.
Underway again, Tagliabue and Spencer. Probably give that one to Tagliabue. Bartholomeus comes away with it. Long, deep inside forward 50. Lawrence with the spoil. Hiscox is there. Hit away from him by Allen. Then the ladder lays a tackle on the former. And we'll have a ball up. Dangerous ball inside, but again, that tall timber. It was Gross and Lawrence who were very close to Davies, not allowing the run up to it. Players on hands and knees and just submitting to a tackle. Was the Aspley player there? Might have been Big Spencer. Just said, "Yep, boys, I'll get up and I'll try and knock it down one of your throats. Catch it." So the ball up yet again. Spencer doesn't find a teammate. I thought, in fact, it was a teammate that couldn't handle it, and then Cody Stackelberg only gets it back as far as Ned Reinhardt on the outer wing.
So Reinhard, there is a Hornet down behind play. We'll just try and monitor that one as the ball inside 50. No mark taken off hands. Aspley have the numbers and it will be kicked towards halfback. This is dangerous though. Golden had the best position. He just tried to edge his opponent under it, but that was sensationally done from Martin. Sent it inboard in Hampton. Now we know how quick he is. He kicked a ripping goal against the Students last time. He takes a bounce, sends it long. Nellis the target. It'll go over the back. It's Miss Stanley. Reinhardt, well, he's tackled. Can't quite get it away. Play on in the goal square. It's tied up. Murphy! He's just missed. Off the soccer. Ballistic bit of ball movement there from the Hornets, but you feel like they really wasted an opportunity.
Just didn't hit the target at the right time, did they?
It's 9 points the margin, 10-10 to 9-7. Time on, third quarter.
It looked like Nellis and Stanley at various stages had them on toast. Banuelos couldn't take the mark. Good work there by Dawson. At ground level, Cole comes through. Dawson does well. Intercepted the handball, just batted the ball out in favour of a teammate. Bailey Stewart got him, wrapped him up. It was Giles. So interchanges galore happening right in front of us here. Players rotating, trying to find the edge. Spencer, hit out. Goulden. Stewart. Andrew Sierakowski, lovely smother. A time by Bolch. Just a lack of awareness, I think. I don't think he saw Bolch coming. Couldn't get it away far enough. Or fast enough.
I didn't see how quite it was. There was this three student about 10 metres away for the hand pass, and would have been a pretty quick entry for a scoring chance. Spencer, well, he won it against Tagliabue. Hand passed away. Bottom of the packet's going to be tied up, and a stoppage in the forward half. So, big final 10 minutes of this third quarter coming up for both sides. It's going to be crucial. That's a kick over the head inside 50. Stackelberg, the target, couldn't take the mark. It's tied up. Sierakowski, and it's going to be another stoppage. So, Aspley, we're just starting to pepper here a little. It's been very back and forth. No team outside the Students for about 15 minutes in that second quarter have been able to sustain real momentum for a long period.
So Bailey Stewart tied up underneath there. We'll have a secondary stoppage. So crucial minutes here. 9 points the margin. Tagliabue takes it out of the ruck. Craven couldn't clasp it. They're just trying to get the ball forward here, the Students. Any cost. Dispossessed was Morrison. Ball goes back Aspley's way. Stevenson there, though, for the Students. Feeds it out. Goulden there. Feeds it inboard. Barton just does it well. Just, again, that composure. Veal, not sure where to go. Not sure where to go. The handball is just fed back to Goulden, albeit on the second bite of the cherry. And Tagliabue just got a dangerous kick. Now it ends up with Kilpatrick, inside forward 50. Aspley had the numbers. Davies bears down on Allen, though. Fed up. Dawson. Hampton does it well in the finish, although it was touched in the contest by Bartholomeus. Kick partially smothered. Kilpatrick. And under pressure, handballs the ball forward, went over the boundary line.
Great call there, King. It was a very frenetic bit of play there. But again, like a lot of stages today, it has been ballistic ball movement from the Students forward, but they're finishing from about 65 metres out to try and find that target's really been lacking. Spencer got front position against Banuelos, won the tap down. Foster's wrapped up. Umpire says, give it to me. So a lot of numbers around this contest, but there's quite a bit of space over the back. If Aspley can get it, Spencer, Payne, hand passed it wide. Still in the field, play. Kick forward, position here, Kilpatrick, he's taken a good mark. He gives it to Golden. Now Golden will go in the middle of the ground, finds Barkley, who looked to wheel and go initially. Instead he's going to go wide, and now they've got the +1. Veal goes to Hiscox. I don't think the kick favoured him that well, but it got there eventually.
Too slow.
But Aspley, he was too slow, and Aspley have done well to cover. And at least force the contest. Spoiled off the hand of Gross, and it looks like it's going to be a turnover here for the Hornets. Payne, hand pass it, sort of backwards, calling for in the middle of the grounds. Giles, he can try and pick it up. Well done from Andrew Sierakowski. Vella comes in hard. And they both fire the draw there. Just the disposal of both sides there in the last couple of minutes has let them down.
They just didn't spread far enough or quick enough. to be able to just push the ball backwards and push it over the top to Hiscox to really give him a bit of more space to work in up the front. As going for the absolute monster punch forward with Spencer and only hit it up in the air and then ball tied up. Go again, Ben Wellos. Is forced to tackle Spencer and then player. Bartholomeus just handballed to Van Wellos on the ground. Here, mate, you have it. We'll start again. Thanks very much, I think was the call back. So Spencer, front spot, does it easy. Hit outs galore. Andrew Sirakoski. Veal tied up under it. Do it all again. So 9 points to margin. We've played 25 minutes. We'll look at some stats shortly. But things tightening up here. Taking it out of the contest with Spencer. The inverse torpedo. Not easy to kick, but it was easy to mark for Barton in defence.
Now Barton will send it very dangerously. Gross came in hard, got the spoil, lets the Hornets in. Payne 55 out, sets it up. Nellis is easily the target. And he did well. I don't know if that was intentional from Matty Payne, but it was fortuitous enough, and James Nellis has the chance to bring it back to 3 points.
Yeah, look, I reckon it was. I think it's got good vision. They know each other pretty well. Played with each other a fair bit, and you got to hand that to a player of Payne's class. I think he sized him up.
Of course, the three-time MVP, Matty Payne, but Nellis, probably the biggest kick of the afternoon so far. 35 out, got close to the man on the mark, but it's worked well enough. So the Hornets are back to within 3. That's number 2 for James Nellis. Ripping contest here from Voxson Oval. You feel like it's going to have a grandstand conclusion. 10-10-70 the Students to 10-7, 67, 26 and a quarter minutes gone into this third quarter.
So 3 points now the difference, and they've only managed to make an indent of 1, but such is the tightness of this contest, and it's the back half of the second quarter where Aspley got all their goals.
They really made their move there to come back into it.
And we're seeing that Aspley, they've kicked the last 2 goals now, so each team have only kicked 3 for the quarter, and Aspley, again, just sort of finishing off that little bit stronger. So we're going to have to see what the Students are made of here to really knuckle down, particularly around the contest. And that's where Spencer has taken the ball out of the ruck a couple of times and made an impact for them getting it forward. Spencer again, although this time Bartholomeus, he had the run of it, gets it up. Vella, inside forward 50, it was touched off the boot. Just trying to break away. There was Cordell. Couldn't quite find the required space. Craven's there. Takes possession now. Feeds it forward. Where to go? Bolch, I think it might be on the outer side. Half back. And that's a nice pass. Finds Connor Stackelberg, but he dropped a pud. Stewart feeds it back. Does it well. Hiscox off a couple of steps. Just lays it up high. And Lipscomb just outpointed his opponent there, did it well before he feeds it off to Dawson.
Dawson wide to Hampton. He's got a little bit of space. He'll run about 10 metres, goes up the line. Nellis the target. Good spoil from Barton. Coming in hard there was Lawrence. Eventually went to Ives, kicks it forward. There's a free kick. James Ives was hit after it, so it's going to be a downfield free, and it's going to go to Spencer. I think Doug Lawrence just said what have you on that occasion. So Spencer, about 75 metres out. Freeman wants it long. That's where the ball goes, over the back, no mark there for the Hornets, but it's a mark to the Students and comes to nothing. And once again, Reinhardt did well and will send it wide.
So right, Hiscox it is. Short, I was just trying to look at a replay of that marking contest. My mate James Wardoff, he burnt me. And that's a bad kick by Vella. That's a very ordinary kick, especially at this time. And the ball just turned over. And Aspley can just put it back inside forward 50. Lipscomb. Contest. Not on there. By Carroll. Murphy got it to Payne. Just puts it at the top of the square. And Tagliabue does well. Ruckman pushing back and kills the ball. Forces it through for a behind. So margin down to 2 points.
Setting itself up very nicely. If you just joined us, the Students at one stage were in front by 5 goals. There's a set play. Looked like down the middle, but He instead went to the broadcast wing and it was fortuitous. Banwellis just went for the top. He'll send it towards the forward 50. Big pack of players. And that's a... I don't know how that's a mark. I thought Tristan Davies thought it was touch, but not to be.
Did well, Jasper Craven.
He certainly did. He's done some nice things today, Jasper Craven.
Eyes on the ball.
Eyes on the ball. It's where it needs to be. And Lawrence goes short to Dawson. Dawson. Ditto to Hayden.
This is the dangerous thing here, is that when Aspley starts to just work on chipping the ball around, trying to find something, a system. You see what Sydney Uni do? They just try to get over the back as fast as they can. So two contrasting styles.
Barton flies. That's a good mark there from Barton. Now he'll hand us it off to Stevenson. This is the quick style you talked about, Kanga. Stern is the target. And he's got... That is a sensational kick from Stevenson. He has put it right on the chest of Stern. And I reckon that probably travelled about 55.
It's a ripping kick, wasn't it? And it's the value on what is a smaller Voxson Oval, and the value of just being able to open space up behind. And you saw Stern leading back on the 45-degree angle, and the kick was right on the money.
So Josh Stern for number 6 will come in. Kick from 49, sets it on its way, and when you're on, and that's what he is right now. That's number 6 for Josh Stern. We've played 31 minutes into this final quarter, and a massive goal for Sydney Uni brings it back out to that 8-point margin. 11-10-76, 10-8-68. Hope you're enjoying it. Wherever you're watching NEAFL TV, brought to you by Bar TV. It's been a ripper so far.
Well, it's the value of having some real experience off that half-back line and even off that wing. And we're seeing Stevenson here on this near commentary side wing, combining with Barton just to really control and bring about some steadiness back there, and combine with the likes of Will Sirakoski and a bit of Hiscox run and so forth. They've got that little bit of, I suppose, what would you say, that real impetus to be able to really pull something forward, as we see a 666 infringement, I think, here. So it'll be a warning first up. Ball thrown up. No harm, no foul. On this occasion, at least, anyway.
So very late stages of this third term goal. Either way, massive. Tagliabue wins it down, taps it towards a little bit of space. Stevenson overrun it. It was 3/4 time. And I tell you what, it set itself up for a grandstand finish here at Voxson Oval. Sydney University came into this game in 7th position, knew they had to win to keep really their season alive, and they've played 3 quarters of really good quality football. But if we know anything about Aspley, they're going to come hard. It's an 8-point margin, 11-10-76 to 10-8-68.
Well, let's just look at some key possession getters before we have a break here for the home side. Aspley, Matty Payne, 25 disposals, 4 clearances, 5 inside 50s and a goal. Spencer had 45 hit-outs, 5 clearances, 7 inside 50s to go with his 18 disposals. Jackson Allen has 16 from the back half. Cody Stackelberg has had 16 as well. He's been busy in and under the packs, rotating through the midfield, and Hampton with 15 there. Bartholomeus, he's got 20 for the visitors, the students, and 6 clearances, so he's been busy in and around that contest. Tim Barton off that half-back line, 17 disposals, 9 marks, 6 rebound 50s and 2 inside 50s. Been very influential. Veal's got 16. Tagliabue, he's got 16. And I think he's got 7 clearances. So he's been really trying to negate or dull the effectiveness of Jake Spencer in the ruck. Inside 50s, 43 to 40. And clearances going Aspley's way now. They've turned it around, 33-32. Hit-outs, 49 to 18. Both sides are taking a bit of a break. They've broken up into their huddle, respective forwards, centre and backs, just to get some messages from their line coaches. I'm going to take a few messages from the umpire's advisor at 3/4 time, because I think he might have a few things to say, the cheeky bugger. And we might join you back on NEAFL TV on this round 17 clash after the break. Welcome back for the last quarter here at Voxson Oval in Aspley's home ground in the beautiful northern suburbs. Graham Road here. And Mark Kennedy's my name, joining me, Riley Staraj. And at three-quarter time, it's a visitors. Sydney University in what is shaping up as a little bit of a boil over. 11-10-76. They lead by 8 points, 10-8-68. And this is the voice of Riley Staraj to get us underway in the last quarter.
Spencer got the tap down, socket forward though for the students. Off hands, will fall away of Payne, who sends a left foot inside 50. No mark taken at the back there from Barkley, but he still fed a hand pass. It's fed further wide. Kilpatrick, oh, that's a good chest mark. He flew with that very nicely. Did Kilpatrick. And he's just content to hold it up here for a second. You feel the first goal this last quarter is going to be massive for the students if they can get it. Off hands, Allen lays the tackle on his opposite number there in Foster. We'll have a stoppage almost in front of us here in the commentary box. It's been a great game so far. Let's hope the finish is just as good.
So Spencer puts it down. Payne couldn't take it with him. Trying to emerge with it was Giles, did so. Got it to Jackson Allen, right to forward 50. Good spoil there. It was by Carroll. Murphy tries to sneak through. Couldn't do so because Barkley was there and said, "You're going nowhere. You and your bleached hair." He's come to Queensland, and he brought his own bottle of sun with him. Spencer gets it down. Coughlin wrapped up straight away by Bartholomeus. We'll go again. Pretty good player for Aspley, Billy Murphy so far. But just, I think he's just plateaued a little bit at various times. But a very important cog if they're to make a good run at the finals. Barkley with a good tackle on Giles. Ball's going nowhere. In fact, he just dropped it. John O'Giles. So the students, they'll take the free kick, and this is Sam Barkley.
Barkley. The umpire's called for a clear out before Barkley will send it towards the wing. Well, not the greatest of kicks. Banuelos, though, did well to at least force the contest. Vela couldn't pick it up. Cordell's tied up. You do mention Billy Murphy. He's had some moments, though, where he's almost got on the end of it. But you just feel if Aspley are going to win, he's going to have a big influence in this last quarter. Tagliabue, give the honours to him that time. Cordell ducked into it. Well, I thought he might have, but he's got the free. And he can send the students forward. It's a bit of an up and under kick, but it's going to work out well enough. No mark taken. Well done from Gross on Banuelos. Vela's in there trying to extract it, but it's going to be tied up, and now it's at Sydney Uni's half forward. We're 65 metres out from their attacking goal.
It'll be very interesting if Uni can get the first goal here. That was just terrific work there. Spencer down to Payne. Stackelberg approaches it, and Barkley stood under it very courageously. Murphy tries to spin out, couldn't take it with him, no. Spencer thrown off the footy. You just feel that the tensions are going up a little bit. Cordell taken down there by Jordan Arnold. And just a few tempers starting to fray at some, whether there's some non-calls or a little bit of desperation starting to kick in.
Might be a bit of both, you feel. It's tied up once again, I think. Jake Spencer, he certainly had a case there 15, 20 seconds ago, but we'll do it all again. Spencer gets the spike. Murphy taps it further on. Hampton, well, he's broken 2 tackles. He's got a little bit of space. He'll send it forward. Freeman's the target. He's got position. He's taken the mark. That is some of the best bit of play we've seen from the Hornets all afternoon. And Jono Freeman's already got 4 this afternoon. This is for number 5.
I just thought Reinhardt could have done a little bit better with the body there. I think before the ball got there, he lost contact, but he probably should have really tried to impose himself to knock Freeman off the line of the footy there. But Freeman did the right thing, went through, clasped it, and kudos to Lonnie Hampton in the build-up.
So Freeman to bring it back to 2 points the margin. The first goal of the last term sends it on its way. The umpire was always moving to his left, and one behind. So 7 points the margin. 11-10 to 10-9. 4 minutes gone. Final term.
Bring it back in. Goulden with the ball. Been a very good performer. He'd have to be in NEAFL Team of the Year calculations, one would think. Decides to go right up the middle. And I'll tell you what, that is a great kick. Founds Davies, and they're on the run. They're on the move. They're on the march. Stearns there. He's got it. He'll want to move it quickly. He's got Morrison over the back. This is good coast-to-coast stuff. He'll run into an open goal, extend the margin. Goulden, Davies, Stern, Morrison, goal. How easy's footy?
Well, I think they tried that in the third quarter, Kanga, and whilst it didn't quite come off there, you could sort of see the thought process, and they did it once again. They really opened up that corridor area with both sides of the ground being covered, and they just converging. The kick from Goulden sent it towards some space, and from there the leg speed of Uni really told. Aspley have got a job to do now. That it's 13 points, so they're going to have to kick at least 3 to win it, but you imagine there's going to be a few more. We'll see what they're made of. Of course, they've won 6 in a row, all, to be honest, very convincingly, but they're in a scrap this afternoon.
It's great stuff. 13 points the margin. 5.5 minutes gone. Last quarter here. That'll be recalled, I would have thought. And resetting will be the players, including Tagliabue and Spencer. Spencer brought up the half century of hitouts, 50 for the afternoon. We'll go again. No real clear winner. Tagliabue off the deck, or picked it up from the deck and off he went. Davies just hits it over the back, tries to see those small players take advantage. Morrison, outpointed by Craven. Arnold. Gross was in there before as well. Coughlin. And the ball just was taken over the boundary line before Coughlin could dispose of it. So the ball will go back half forward out of side. And we'll have a throw-in. Keeps it in students' territory.
No, it certainly doesn't. If they can get another one from this opportunity, it'll be all the better for them. I think they've exposed Aspley to a degree this afternoon with their leg speed. They've got it over the back quite a bit. Of course, Coach Tom Morrison said they need to do something different from the last clash, and that they've done. Spencer won it, though, that time to Payne, who, well, handballed it to himself, and then sends it towards the middle of the ground, but it's all the students, and the mark has been taken from Carroll. Carroll short. Finds Stewart. Now, Stewart's got an option on the outer side with a little bit of space as well. Wheel around, and he'll send inside 50 towards a couple of numbers. Gross flies, couldn't take the mark. He'll run it towards the boundary. Hayden will spins out, then he's tackled. And it's come off the knee. It's actually out on the full. Well, I think the umpire's going to have a bit of a conference here because what's the decision? It's going Aspley's way.
Suggesting it came off the knee of the university player, so
it's quite unfortunate, really.
Yeah, I think the boundary umpire started running the wrong way, which I think possibly fooled the field umpire. Might well have been the case. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. As Hayden goes long down the line, and the man mountain that is Jake Spencer just takes the mark. Half back, asked to play on now, feeds it out to Payne. Never far from Spencer, and why would you be? Lipscomb down the outer side. Nellis too close to the boundary. Outer wing. We'll have a throw in. Just picked up the wrong binoculars. I do apologise, Riley. All friends in here in the commentary box. Well, almost all of us.
Exactly right. So back in the field of play, Spencer just threw Tagliabue out of the way that time. Murphy overran the football. Bartholomeus, who's been one of the students' best, just gets trapped under it. I don't think James Waldorf was that impressed with that comment there, Kanga, but
who said it was aimed at him, mate? Not sure.
Not sure, indeed. Anyway, back at the game, sent forward from Payne inside forward 50. Well, Carroll gets it eventually. Hand passes it wide. They've done it well here. The students now fed to Cordell. They've got some space. They've got some speed. If they can extract it one more. Stewart went back into traffic. Golden did well. Cordell, they've done this very well here. Sydney University. Golden sends it forward. Morrison the target. He's overrun it, then taps it on. Hiscock sockers it up at Lawrence. Last line, last player between the goals. Took the mark. Sent it to Bulch. Craven. Lawrence under pressure. Templeton. Short kick. And that is... It's called out on the full. Very close call.
I could hear the Aspley players saying, no, that's all right. And I could hear the Sydney University players no more than 10 metres apart going, no, that's out. And the umpire will just make sure the player comes back behind the line. Of course, that is Michael Carroll, boy from Pennant Hills. Trying to load it up. Long. Spencer stands under it. Can't take the mark. Gross just took a swipe at it. Lawrence, it comes out to Morrison. That's on target. If it bounces, it just... Thought for a moment it was going to just keep on heading straight. It just took the slightest of turns. Not to be, but extends the margin by 1. It's 14 points now as Jackson Allen brings it in to this commentary side.
Spencer the target. Well, he almost took the mark, got it anyway. Feeds the hand pass over the top to Stackelberg, who needs to pick this up. He's got Cole in hot pursuit. He'll soccer it instead. He was grabbed slightly, but still got it now to Hampton. This should be a score at the least. Hampton steps inside, sets a goal. They need this, the Hornets, and they've got it. Good composure from Lonnie Hampton. He knows how to kick one against Sydney University, and he'll bring the margin back to what it was at three-quarter time. 8 points, that is. 12-11-83 to 11-9-75. 10.5 gone, final term.
Which provides that bit of spark, doesn't he? In a side that we're saying that they're playing against that are looking to have that run and gun type of methodology. You get up the other end, the leg speed of Lonnie Hampton, who can break the lines. And we saw on that stage when he got the ball, he still had a fair bit of work to do. And as he did in the corresponding game last time, run on, break a tackle, get around one, and then steady, composure, and kick the major. Got a real game on our hands, haven't we?
It's been a fantastic one so far. Goal each in this last quarter. Who can get a run on? Who can win this one? Back in the middle. Banuelos thought his eyes lit up there at the relatively favourable bounce, but it's been recalled.
My eyes would have lit up if the ball got to me before Jake Spencer got to me.
Exactly right.
Because he was standing under it, and the big freight train might have come through and given him one. Hampton was there. Couldn't do it. Banuelos did well, but although couldn't get his handball over the top of Bolch, he took it. Nice handball from Hayden, or Templeton it was. Into Hampton. Down deep, and Stackelberg. That's Connor Stackelberg running back with the flight of the ball and on the angle. Two players right in the drop zone were just wrestling with the ball, which allowed Stackelberg to take. Wasn't an easy mark, but in essence it was almost uncontested given the fact that he could jump over the top and goes back, kicks the easiest of goals. And ladies and gents, we have a 2-point ball game.
That we certainly do. Sydney Uni. They are the leaders, of course, 12-11-83 to 12-9-81. And this one, you just get the feeling it's going to go right down to the wire. Of course, Aspley, as we mentioned earlier in the coverage, certainly have aspirations for that second position, which will give them a home preliminary final if they can get there. But you feel they need a win this afternoon to have a real chance at that. Whilst for the students, with a tough run home, it must be said, have simply got to win to keep in touch with the top 6 and a finals berth in season 2019.
Tagliabue back in the ruck. Goes up against Nellis, who didn't contest there. Bailey Stewart off to Hiscox. A long ball. The tall timber of Dawson and Groves. They combine to spoil. Foster at ground level with his opposite number in Jackson Allen. The ball over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in. Inside forward 50, out of side for the students. Some 30 to about 40 metres around from their goal. So opportunity for them to answer here, and they've been able to answer every time so far this afternoon.
Well done from Nellis. Well, I thought you were going to say well done, but it's a ruck-free kick going to go the way of Tagliabue, and James Nellis cannot believe it.
Well, the umpire was right there, and we were basically front on to the contest, or right behind the contest, I suppose. So it's hard to understand the amount of contact that James Nellis actually made on Tagliabue, but umpire there made the call.
So Tagliabue to get the reply and send it back to 8 points the margin. The big lefty sends it on its way. The umpire moves a fraction. He's got it! A great kick under pressure there from Sam Tagliabue, and it sends it back to 8. 13-11-89 to 12-9-81. 14 and a half gone. Final term. Ripping contest.
Now, Riley Staraj, we need to have a conversation, a serious one, about what you said about ruckman and their inabilities earlier in the game, because Sam Tagliabue, that was a fantastic hand-to-foot opportunity for the ruckman to take right advantage of it. I'm talking about Daniel Gorringe, the former Suns ruckman earlier on. Yeah, well, bag him out all you like, but congratulations, Sam Tagliabue. That's a great conveyance of the footy.
It was a sensational kick.
Might be
and I'll happily eat my words.
I might be stitching up Riley Staraj here a little bit, but that's all right. We take it as we see it.
We certainly do. So back in the middle. Spencer and Tagliabue will go at it once again like they've done all day. Give the honours to Spencer that time. Follows up his own work. Gets the hand pass to Giles. Looks like it might be going goal for goal. 60 metres out towards the square. No mark taken off hands. Uni get the numbers back. Still raffling around in that pocket. Stackelberg got a soccer, but it's out of play. And Aspley come again. This game is going back and forth, back and forth. It's just who can be ahead at the final siren.
What about the pirouette out of the ruck contest from big Jake Spencer there? And he gets the hit out down, just at his feet, and he has to go again, the big man. Tackled by his opposite in Tagliabue. Stevenson, handballs out, more in hope than anything else. Hiscox couldn't handle it. Ives gets it off to Hampton. His kick smothered. Right to the top of the square. Nellis wriggled out of a tackle and then just couldn't quite straighten the ball up enough. And only registers a minor. And the margin, 7 points, I think we're at.
You're certainly right. So Stevenson sends it back in the play. Gross with a big punch. Gets it to Allen. Then Bulch sends it forward. Big contest coming up. The students do well. Great composure shown. It's cleared defensively towards the wing position. Morrison will get there first. Gross in hot pursuit. He breaks the tackle. Now he's got Davies. He's got 5 metres, but the kick is a dead set shocker, not to advantage him. Lawrence gets there first, shows composure, takes a bounce, will run away off the non-preferred right towards the half-back position. And he'll go out of play out on the full, so the students will come right back.
Tommy Morrison. Sorry, not Tommy Morrison. Talking about the coach there. Harry Morrison. Just absolutely didn't do the right thing by his teammate there as Aspley bring it away. Banuelos, huge spoil into the arms of Sirakoski. Delivers a bullet to Davies. There's a reason he had to run that far over that side of the ground. He knew it was coming eventually. And Davies, he'll back himself here.
He certainly will, but we've mentioned there is a slight breeze going against him in this position. We've seen it a couple of times today, so tough kick. It's going to have to probably kick it from at least 54, you'd feel.
Isn't that a lot of the footy, Davies? 12 possessions, 5 marks, 1 goal, 1. He's going to have to kick it from about 52 metres. Coming off the long run. And when I say the long run, not quite the Ben Brown long run. Couple of skips in the lead up. Gives it everything he has, but to the near side. Just tugged it. Just a little. 1 point. 8 points now the margin. Jackson Allen, he can reload for the Hornets and he puts it out to the back pocket to Dawson.
Dawson short. Gross has got to sit under it. He couldn't take the mark, but Hampton's there first. Breaks the tackle. Wheels around. Takes a bounce. Will back himself against Cordell, but well done from Vella. He forced the pressure. Payne, though, there to relieve, and they forced it out of bounds. The students will not die wondering. And that's the sort of acts today that have kept him in front for large parts of this contest.
Well, I'll tell you what, you see the enthusiasm rise when players make those types of tackles, those pressure acts that force the 50-50 contest and the potential turnovers. Spencer takes front spot. Banuelos lays the tackle. Arnold just emerged with it. And Payne lays the tackle on Barkley. And got up a bit gingerly, Barkley. And goes straight to the interchange bench. I don't think there's anything major. Might just have a little bit of a corky or a little bit of a cramp. Banuelos hits it down, but only to Payne. Payne to half forward. Well done there by Reinhardt. Just beat Freeman as he knocked him over to start with. Over the top of a player, finds Stevenson. Will Sirakoski gets around one. Straightens up. Can't find Davies. Lawrence and also the ladder there in... I've got to remember his name, Gavin Gross. He mops it up.
And then it'll be sent across from Giles towards a contest mill at the ground. Spoil away by Murphy. We've called for him to have some involvement. He takes about 75 metres out in towards the forward 50. But Jono Freeman, well, I don't know if he led to the right position that time. And Ned Reinhardt came into the hole and took the saving mark.
I think the kick wasn't right regardless.
Yeah, absolutely. Both bit to blame there. Anyway, back at the game. Reinhardt goes across ground. Well, talking about kicks. He sent it out of play.
I'm not sure if that was a lack of communication out there.
I think it might have been because Cordell looked pretty stationary when he went for it, but it just carried over.
And Vella, I think Vella was going to push down into that space as well. So just need to work through this because Spencer hits it to the back. Crockmall can't quite take it. Ball at ground level, fed out, albeit just. Hampton, quick kick away. Freeman, also Reinhardt there, and well done by Reinhardt. Just out-bodied Freeman. Hampton's just a bit ginger getting up there, and he's rolling over. The kick was a turnover. Cody Stackelberg takes, in fact, it was Connor Stackelberg, takes full advantage of it, and that is a poor turnover, which leads to an Aspley goal. And we have back to a 2-point ball game. As Hampton limping from the ground.
And that could be massive in the last 10 minutes of this one. There's 21 minutes gone, so plenty of time. But his leg speed and his class in this last quarter, Lonnie Hampton, has been massive for Aspley. We'll monitor that one, see if he can get back on the paddock. But massive turnover there for the students, and it lets Aspley in once again. So every goal in this one's becoming more important, and every disposal defensively is proving crucial. This is the time where you've got to keep your composure.
Good Ives carrying a heavy corky, it looks like, in the thigh. Hampton looked like it was a bit of a knee there, and it might have been contact on the knee, so hopefully it might only be a corky, but it's pretty serious as Bartholomeus gets a free kick, plays on quickly. Contest down there. Morrison and Davies with the attackers. Foster lays a tackle on Allen. It's going to be tied up inside forward 50. And this is what students want. Pressure inside forward 50. Don't let the ball out. Try and get the score on the board.
They'd love to get another one here from this opportunity. A lot of players around this contest. Punched away from Spencer. Giles runs onto it. Feeds a hand pass, but it's not the greatest. It missed Payne. It's a shot at goal from Crockmall, but it's gone through for a behind. 3 points now. 13-13, the 13-10. 22 and a half gone into this final quarter.
9 points the margin down at Phillip Oval late in the game as well. Southport leading Canberra. Allen goes right up the middle. Nellis with the punch, looking to just propel the ball further forward. Templeton onto Murphy. Murphy just props. It's up there. Stewart does well. Although punches into the path of Stackelberg. Onto Coughlin. Coughlin on the left. It goes too far. Reinhardt is there. Or in fact, it's Barton. He's done the 360. He's in trouble. And he's going to be gone. Good tackle, Jono Freeman.
Fantastic tackle there, Jono Freeman. I think Barton, he had primary position in that contest because the kick was overcooked towards Jono Freeman, but I think he panicked a bit when he dropped that mark. And then he just was a little bit indecisive, didn't see the clear option, and it allowed Freeman to apply that tackle and defensive pressure. And this could put Aspley in front.
Well, Jono Freeman, dare I say, hasn't had many moments where he's kicked goals on big occasions. And we saw a couple early in the day where he thought he should have kicked it. Key forwards, they kicked him. He hangs it out right. It comes back and hits the post. I thought it was coming back enough to the commentator's curse again, but it was on the money. So the margin to 2 points.
Kicking short from Golden finds Stevenson. The tension is rising ever more. Stevenson, well, he takes a risk, heads towards Davies. He's got to halve the contest. It's spoiled down. It lets the Hornets in. Right in the tackles, Hayden feeds it back off the hands. Finds Arnold. Go about 10 metres. It's turnover. Here's the chance for the students. Here's Cox. Stern. He's kicked 6. This is going to be a goal, surely. Morrison runs in. 10 metres out. And he goes bang. They've done that a few times today, the students. And when you turn it over in the middle of the ground, it can kill you. And he's done it once again. 14-13-97 to 13-11-89. Plenty of time left in this one. 25 minutes gone. But that is a huge goal.
Well, it's 3 for Morrison now. And I think off the top of my head, they're 2 running into open goals where they've just got on the end of it and done it very nicely. They push players forward of the footy to open up the space inside their forward 50. On that occasion, they just got the one over, the man over, and they were able to link up very well. It's a great coaching performance by Tommy Morrison. If this is to come off for University today, Spencer starts it. Templeton emerges with it. Kicks long inside forward 50. Reinhardt's fallen down. Gets back up to impede the contest or impact the contest. Barkley feeds one out. That was Barton. It's a big kick and it is out in the full. Commentary from down below. Had a good angle on that. Be Jackson Allen who can take the free kick.
So Allen, just in front of the uni in the change. Gates will send it long towards the forward 50. Big contest coming up. Freeman flew too early, couldn't take it. Coming in hard with a Hornet, but eventually getting it away. Vella hand pass was composed. It's kicked away from Goulden. Getting onto that's Morrison. He has been massive in this second half. As you mentioned, Kanga, and now he'll send a spearing ball, but ill-directed, it must be said.
He's just had a couple of spots there where he just hasn't kicked it to the advantage of his teammate. He's got on the end of it a few times nicely, but he should have delivered it to Davies to result in a goal early in that quarter. He should have put it over the top to make sure they had a contest. Nella spoiled by Barton, who just follows it up with a big tackle on Lipscomb. And just is happy to chew up a bit of time here as best he can too. Barton. Plenty of players around this contest now. They're understanding the gravity of this situation. It's on the line. Spencer has his handball smothered. Murphy got it going forward, but not with any great impetus. Vella can't take it anywhere. Bit of tunnel ball. Cody Stackelberg had his kick smothered. Plenty of players again. And they are laying on top of Sam Barkley. And we'll have a stoppage. 27 minutes gone of this last quarter. 8 points to margin.
Tagliabue taps it down. Payne couldn't get it off the shark. Tagliabue goes again. Thrown into the turf there from Giles. And it's going to be tied up. You still feel there's probably 5 minutes or so left in this one. Quite a few stoppages. Quite high scoring game. This level. Spencer, well, he just tries to spike it. Stevenson went 2 grabs at it. And he's taken out of play. I thought he was taken out of play, but call for a ball uppers. Down at Phillip Oval, it's a 3-point margin. Canberra's charging at the Sharks. And that could have massive ramifications on the ladder, which we can monitor as the year goes along. Bartholomeus gets the clearance, and it's punched out by Gross. But at the moment, it's at the right end of the ground for Uni.
29.5 minutes gone down there at Phillip Oval. 3 points of difference. We've played 28 minutes here, and 8 points is, have I got that right? 8 points is the margin here. Quick kick. Arnold. Freeman flew high. Reinhardt had his kick smothered. Good hands to Stevenson. Just quick kick to half foot. Davies couldn't bring it down. That would have been a contender. And now a ball out to Will Sierakowski. Puts it to the, or not to the advantage of Stern. Craven's right there. There was nobody within 30 metres of either of them. And so Craven had no option to play percentages and was happy to concede the ball going out of bounds.
But the thing for Uni, it is in their forward end. It's in their pocket. And Aspley, now the time becomes a factor. They've got to get a wriggle on. Spencer gets the punch down. Stern lays the tackle on Craven. He tied up again.
And this is where forward pressure for Sydney Uni is going to help win them this game. 8 points up, 29 minutes gone. They've got in their attacking zone.
Spencer wins it down. Forced further forward. Going in hard, but it now might come out for Aspley. Bolch is there first for the Hornets. Hand pass to Coughlin. Sends it towards the wing position. Running out there hard there with Stanley. There's a lot of space forward. He's got to get it forward quickly. Stackelberg's got a job to do against Barton. And Barton has taken a fantastic mark, and he's just content to hold it up and take as much time off the clock as he can.
So down the line, Barton goes. Big pack of players. Ball over the back. Out towards the boundary line. Davies is there. He's understanding, and he's pushing up the ground again. Help create that space. Harry Morrison, the only player inside forward 50, and Doug Lawrence with him. Although, extra man, Dawson, pushing back to help. Almost push an extra one forward for Aspley if you can. Payne, handball forward. Good contest, good dedication there from both players attacking the footy. Cody Stackelberg just pushed it out, trying to get the ball forward. Vella, he's tackled. Likewise, Veal, Bartholomeus, Stevenson off one step, up forward. And Benuelos comes out, impacts the contest. And like a roll of the tongue, the clock keeps rolling on over, closer to full time. What can Aspley do? They're just about down to the last roll of the dice. They need 2 straight goals.
They need them very quickly as well. So the ball back into play. Spencer taps it over the back towards space to try and let his teammates run onto it. They can get it here. It just beats Payne, but he'll get there nonetheless. Picks it up. Almost slipped over. Steps inside though. Sends it long. Stackelberg against 2. But Carroll, he was the second there for the students. And like a good defender, stepped into the right spot. Will send it back towards the wing. Over the top band, Walos couldn't take it, nor could Tagliabue. Goes around the back, Hornets have the football. Last chance, you feel. They've got to keep it in the field of play. Hand pass inside, finds Templeton over the top. Just missed the target, but they feed it on again. They've just got to get away forward. Just a little messy. And it's gone out of bounds once. It's a deliberate. So Aspley have the ball. They're 55 metres out. It's sent in from Payne towards the square. Freeman from the back couldn't take it. Dawson! Dawson is touched off the boot. It is touched off the boot. And that might just about do it.
So we've got 32 minutes gone of this last quarter. I wonder how long it's going to go. This will be, I'd suggest, probably the students' best victory of the year. Barton goes out wide. It might have been Stevenson. Morrison impacts the contest. On hands and knees there. Craven. Bulch. They'll put it back right to forward 50. Stackelberg there. Cordell with the spoil. Out of bounds it is. I know they beat Aspley by 40 or so points in round 1, but to come on the home deck 6 weeks after getting absolutely towelled up here that is going to be a fantastic turnaround in the spirit and the game style that Tommy Morrison wants them to play.
No doubt about it, but if Aspley have anything to do with it, they'll try and wrest this one away. Giles is tackled though. So we've just about to tick to 33 minutes.
And Southport have held on down at Phillip Oval. 9 points to margin. Mitch Johnson with 7 goals down there, the little goal sneak. All his thousands of Instagram followers will be rejoicing as he puts another muscle pick up covered in baby oil.
It's tied up once again. So, Aspley, they've got to get a goal very quickly and then win the clearance. You feel there's not much time left. Spencer over the back towards space. Murphy has another great day, but can this be his moment? Check side from the boundary. Stays in the field. It's spoiled. Freeman pushed out of play. It looked like they might have been trying to rush it through for a behind there initially, but that would have brought it to a straight kick. 34 minutes just about gone, final term. Every player is inside the forward 50 here for the Hornets. It comes back into the field. Tagliabue front position. It's just tied up once again. It's just tied up. He's off the pack. It's tied up there. Spencer on Barkley, but they'll do it all again.
Plenty of players pushing back in the contest. Somebody looking for an advantage. A bit of space Aspley are looking for. And that was Stackelberg underneath it. Clash of heads. It was Vella with the helmet. Looked like he enjoyed the contact. He'll get up and go again regardless. Spencer gets it down and the final siren goes. A wonderful victory for the students. 7 points the final margin. You got to say, I thought they were the better side for the duration of the afternoon. They made the running, and every time Aspley pressed, the students had the answer. And to some respects, they held on, but they really played an exciting brand of footy, and the turnaround from 6 weeks ago was marked.
It certainly was, and I think what really worked for them today, they got the ball over the back line, and they used that leg speed. They changed things up. They really took their chances, and whilst at times it wasn't necessarily clean going forward, it was ballistic in nature. And of course, you look at Josh Dern, you didn't expect him to probably kick 6 goals today. Massive game for him, and most importantly for the students, you look at the live ladder, that moves them into the top 6, that victory.
Yeah, it's a very, very big result for them. They haven't got the easiest run home, but that will provide the real pep up in the run to the final. And hopefully they're there when the whips are cracking in that top 6. It was an epic game. It seesawed all day. At one stage, at the first change, it was Sydney University by 8 points. Margin was narrowed to 4 at half time. I think it was 2 at 8 at three-quarter time, I should say. And the final margin was 7. It was one stage Sydney University got out to a 5-goal lead, so it would have been heartbreaking for them to give that up. But the game was played in wonderful spirits and plenty. I think we're going to hear plenty more of this game in terms of highlights for the season.
No doubt about it, and it's got massive ramifications going on, but I reckon that's probably one of the best games in the NEAFL this year. Sydney University, they can be very proud of their efforts. And Aspley, they won 6 on the trot pretty comfortably, but might be a little bit of a reality check in terms of exposing a weakness against leg speed, and maybe something that Dan Webster will be able to hammer in his troops and keep their focus aligned as they head towards the final month of the home and away season.
Well, if you look at the statistics, Aspley actually just about won everywhere except on the scoreboard. And the way it all went from that point of view, possession-wise, it was Aspley 353 to 326. Marks did actually go Sydney Uni's way, 72 to 62. And then hitouts, 69 to 32. Jake Spencer had 64 hitouts for the afternoon. Another solid day's work. Clearances end up tilting back Aspley's way after they really went early to Sydney Uni's way, 48 to 41. Ultimately, inside 50s, Aspley's way, 58 to 54. But importantly, the scoreboard, it goes to Sydney University's way. And they had a very good team spread and a good team performance. And they had a lot of contributors out there, not only in possessions, but in pressure efforts. And for me, I'm not sure, we'll get your thoughts on some better players from the game. I thought Stevenson and Barton, particularly off halfback, they provided some starch. I thought Sirikoski through the middle of the ground, and Bartholomeus, he racked them up and kept the board ticking over. And of course, Josh Stern up forward. I was going to say a handful, unless I've got 6 fingers on one hand. But he kicked 6 for the afternoon in a wonderful effort.
Yeah, he was sensational today, Josh. And just the way he found that a bit of space and just led to the right positions. And, you know, he was running hot this afternoon. And I agree with you all there. Bartholomeus, he had the 24 disposals for the students, but they were really quite effective. Stevenson, he had 22, but he was very good off of half back. He had 6 rebound 50, so he got it into the middle of the ground. Like, very penetrating player. Whilst if you look at the Hornets, well, Matthew Payne, just the lazy 37 possessions. Very good day at the office. Probably might have won a little bit more effect at different stages with those disposals. But then you look at the next best. Jake Spencer, he had the 21. Jackson Allen had 20. Giles had 20. And Hampton, the game really changed for me in that last quarter when he went off the ground with that injury. He looked like he was about to rip it apart. But he came off. It just stopped that run a little bit of the Hornets, and then the students would just be able to steady there to get the result.
And I want to make a special mention of Tom Morrison, the coach there. I think the way he changed the game plan, and he came with a deliberate approach today to really try and unsettle Aspley, and it worked. And as a coach, and sometimes you feel a bit helpless by what happens on the ground, but kudos to Tom in the turnaround and the way they adjusted the game plan to suit not only the opposition, but on the confines of what is a difficult place to play in Voxson anytime you front up to the Aspley unit. Well, ladies and gents, NEAFL TV, we had a great afternoon. It was an exciting game. It was the visiting side, the Sydney Uni. The students had came away with the win by over the home side, Aspley, by 7 points, 14-13-97 to Aspley, 13-12-90. Riley, thanks for joining me this afternoon.
Always a pleasure, Kanga.
And on behalf of me, Mark Kennedy, and all the team at Bar TV who are wonderful, and Tim does a great job, and everybody associated with the NEAFL, thanks for joining us on NEAFL TV. Make sure you join us for lots more action here in the NEAFL. Thanks. And we'll see you again very soon.